Hey, it's Jeff from Pondoff's Anonymous. We've been talking about recovery and real-life stuff for a long time, and now we've got something that fits right into that world. It's our new coffee, Light in the Dark, a bold Colombian dark roast we made with Long Story Coffee. If you spent any time in recovery, you know coffee is a part of the deal. In the rooms, with friends, early mornings, late nights, this roast matches that energy, smooth, steady, and honest. And every bag helps support the work we do on the show. Grab Light in the Dark at pondoffsanonymous.com. Start your day the way so many started recovery, with a cup and a little light.
Pondoff's Anonymous is brought to you in part by McKelvey Insurance. Let's be honest, insurance sucks until you need it. That's why I fuck with McKelvey Insurance. These folks aren't just slinging quotes like robots. They're actual humans who solve real problems. Whether it's personal or commercial insurance, McKelvey works with over 30 companies to make sure you've got the best coverage at the best price without the bullshit. You're not just a number to them. They build real relationships. So when life changes, or your rates do, they've got your back. They'll shop around again and again to make sure you stay protected without ever overpaying. Call or text 618-623-0080 or hit up McKelveyINS.com. That's McKelvey, McKelveyINS.com. McKelvey Insurance. Quick solutions to real-life insurance problems anywhere in Illinois or Missouri. Guys, let me tell you about my good friends at Light Source. Light Source Psychotherapy in Belleville, Illinois is a small group practice committed to providing individual, group, and family therapy, as well as clinical and reflective supervision to those in the helping field. Check them out at findyourlightsource.com. They're the best in the business, my friends. I know them personally and well enough to tell you and put my name and word on it. If you're struggling with mental health, family issues, addiction, grief, you name it, give my friends Chaz and Holly a call. Their private practice is life-saving, and they will help you find your light.
Yeah. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. Yeah. React if you have to, yeah. Don't know the time, yeah. Just know that I'm, yeah, one of a kind, yeah. What's on your mind, yeah. What hard to find, yeah. Beautiful mind, yeah. Still in my prime, yeah. Just know that I'm here.
All right, well, we're rolling if you're ready.
Yeah. All right.
Can I get a tissue? Do you have a Kleenex box?
Then we have water.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Just
Give you water. I don't know where.
Toilet paper is probably the best we got.
I'm like,
we need tissue boxes because
I'm like
people cry.
Mariah Carey.
That's all right.
Only shoot me from this side.
We get some criers on the show, and Zoe, whose dog's sick, stuck in Decatur.
I cry. I can watch a commercial and cry.
Yeah.
My kids always look at me too. They're like, they know it's coming.
Uh-huh.
Like in a movie, if it's an emotional part of the movie, like we just saw Wicked.
Did you? Like the second half
I
of
just cried through the whole thing.
Okay, Ashley.
Your wife does that?
Yeah.
I'm already crying.
There you go. So here we are, Pondoff's Anonymous, and our guest is already crying, and we don't have any tissues on.
Well, that's, yeah.
Toilet paper.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
Imagine that. We would be without tissues.
and we get
I bet you'll have Kleenex after this
Yeah,
podcast.
exactly.
Every time.
And our co-host who can't make it, Zoe, she cries at anything, and Mr. Slaughter said he cries at anything.
That's right, yeah.
My eyes are already watering for real.
I gotta fix
I
this.
have that
It's just a
effect.
cold water.
You're like, what am I doing here?
Chilly.
Where has my career gone that I'm on Pondoff's Anonymous podcast?
I've been doing a couple podcasts here and there, so this is kind of the new space.
It's a good time, man.
And I'm still learning that I can do anything that I want.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for many years I just couldn't.
Pretty liberating, huh?
Yeah.
I am so grateful. So we have Anthony Slaughter on him. For those who don't know, he's a public persona news meteorologist. Is that the
Yeah.
And how long were you doing that here in St. Louis?
So I had 2 stints.
Okay.
Like I was here this go round for about 8.5 years.
Oh wow! All right.
And then I did 3 years when I first got out of college.
Where'd you go to school?
Mizzou.
Okay.
Gonna have a problem here,
No.
Chris?
I'm on the Illinois side of the river. what is the popular college over here?
Well, I'm in Illini, so Mizzou.
Yeah, I
I mean,
hear that one a lot.
being a St. Louis sub, there's still a lot of Mizzou. The Mizzou Illinois bragging rights game's coming up. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
This will drop, I guess, the week of.
Yeah.
Or the Monday before, the 15th, and then the 22nd is the game. And, I mean, the Mizzou didn't look good yesterday, but I like the coach for Mizzou, that Dennis Gates there. He's got a good program going. Did you like Mizzou?
I did. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah. I bet. I've
Best
heard
years
that.
of my life.
Really? So is that the journalism school that you went to?
No, I went to the meteorology part
okay.
of that college.
The real
That
school.
makes sense, yeah.
I didn't do journalism. I actually had just 0 journalism classes. So
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I just kind of fell into the news part of it.
So has weather always been a thing? Like,
Oh yeah,
just like as a kid, even?
yeah. Okay, so there are like different stories that I would tell growing up, but I'm not on TV, and so I guess I can tell the unedited
That's
version.
well, we love this show.
So when I was about 7 or 8 years old, my dad married this woman, stepmom, and she was very strict. But we had a house and it had a basement, and 10, 11 o'clock you're up at night and you're just surfing channels, and you may come across like Cinemax or
Skinemax.
Showtime, And I think they were right next to the Weather Channel. Like it was like one up
Okay.
or down.
Okay.
So it was real easy to get to be like, I was just watching the
You got
weather.
a quick trigger.
You're playing a long game, huh?
My stepmom was at the steps up at the top. She's like, "What are you looking at?" And I was like,
boy.
click, and and the weather was on, and so that's kind of how I fell into it.
That is incredible.
And then,
Tried to avoid it for so
I
long. You had to actually
actually-
go to school for it.
I loved it after that. I was like, "This is so cool!" And tornadoes, and I did a project in middle school about tornadoes, and the flood of '93. It was like stuff was happening when we were growing up, where it was like it was interesting. So.
Yeah.
And then Paul Goodloe was a person on Channel 5 that actually went to the Weather Channel. And he was a black guy. He is a black guy. And, me being in a black biracial family,
Sure.
all my family's black here in St. Louis, and my Portuguese side's in Boston. I was like, oh, this guy looks kind of cool, like the way he does it. It was like he had kind of a swagger to him. And then I didn't know that he had gotten fired from Channel 5 when he was here.
Oh, wow.
I was just a kid, and I was watching the Weather Channel / Cinemax. So, that's amazing how it happened. But everybody, I'll just be like, oh, yeah, I just like clouds. Like,
That's
the
funny.
version.
Yeah, right.
The
That's what
TV
you tell
version,
them.
Yeah.
So, have you ever met and talked to Paul?
No, but I follow him on Instagram, and he doesn't follow me back.
Not yet.
No. But also, Janice Huff was another meteorologist who was here, and she went to San Francisco, where I went as well for about 6 years. And then she followed me when I was out there because I was on the fast track to go to New York or like L.A. And I just had kids and then everything changed.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fascinated by all of this. So
My wife and I watched you on your first stint here, and then when you left, we're like, all right, we're not KSDK anymore. And then you came back, and we're like, all right, we're back. And now we're not there anymore.
I told Anthony, my mother,
Love-hate relationship.
I got to get a picture with him and send to my mom. She has the biggest crush on you.
I hear that a lot.
All right, good man.
A lot of moms like you.
Me too.
Moms, grandmas.
All right.
They're like, my 100-year-old grandmother just thinks the world of you. And I'm like, put in a good word for me up there, okay?
Yeah. Amazing.
That's funny. So yeah,
That's where the money is.
Hey, that's who's watching the news. At least
Yeah.
there aren't people who are 25 and 20 and 19 and 15 watching news anymore.
Yep.
They're just watching TikTok.
I watch. I got stuck on Channel 4 because during my drinking days, when I stopped paying cable bills and stuff, you just get the regular channels, and I'm totally still in to Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful, and I've talked about my stories
Does it
often
still come
on this
on TV?
podcast. Yeah, oh yeah, baby. The stories are
Wow.
getting good, and Victor Newman's still up to his schemes.
Wow. I didn't know that. I don't have regular channels. I only see things at the gym, so there's like an hour of
Me
TV
too.
that I get.
You got a special request. Hey, so to eight, I feel like we're close to the same age. I'm 42, just turned 42.
41.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you said the flood of '93. You look
Yeah, I
a
know.
lot
Same.
younger
I'm
than
40, so I was like, yeah, I get that.
I remember sandbagging in Alton, said family in Godfrey, and they got crushed.
Yeah.
Still, they have the watermark in downtown Alton by the boat of where that water came up to. It's insane.
Yeah. We had it too down where I'm from. So up near Calhoun County was where I grew up.
Nobody knows where you're from.
Yeah, Anthony probably does. You had to say it on the maps and stuff.
Yeah. As soon as you said, I was like, ding.
He knows it.
He's like, never been there before, but I know. I'm not from Calhoun County, though. I'm from Greene County.
Right next to it.
So much better.
Yeah.
So where did you grow up?
In North County. So I started off, my dad and my grandma, because my dad had me in college. And so grandma helped first. And we started off in Olivet.
Okay.
Which is where I'm at now. That's kind of the full circle. And then I moved to North County and grew up there after like middle school, all through high school, and my family still lives up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I one of my 3 rules for my father was if you get her pregnant before you're out of college, I'll kill you. That was basically the talk.
That's a good talk.
Yeah.
And I subscribe to that now. I'm having gonna have the same conversation.
Yeah. I have preteen boys. They're gonna be 13 in a couple months, and they're already asking questions about stuff. And
we watch a 12-year-old. So that's 6th.
Yeah,
okay.
7th.
Oh, 7th.
We watched Look Who's Talking Now with the dogs.
Yes.
John Travolta. And I forgot the opening scene is the eggs and the sperm, and I was like,
that's right.
No.
I forgot about that.
That's right.
Yeah, what is this? Yeah.
I forgot. Those are great movies, though, with Travolta.
Yeah. I love the classic movies. Yeah.
That's there's Look Who's Talking, and then the one with the dogs. Then they did. I think there was one in the middle.
Look Who's Talking.
That's when the girl came, Roseanne.
Yeah. Roseanne was the voice.
Oh, that was the best voice. I mean, they couldn't pick a better
Bruce Willis
person.
was Mikey.
Bruce Willis. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that Diane Keaton was the dog because I saw her name pop up. She was the girl dog.
I don't think I knew that.
And I was like, I was so sad after I watched it. I was like, oh no,
you're crying again. Get him the toilet paper.
I already do. Yeah, exactly.
Right here.
So from there to Mizzou, and you got this, and you went to school to study meteorology, huh?
Yeah.
Which is not
hard ass degree to get.
Is it? Yeah. I took a one class like as an elective, and I dropped out of it because I was like, oh, this will be easy, and it wasn't. Sorry for that. It was.
I had
not.
a couple of those where I thought, would be.
Because I've always been fascinated by storms and shit.
Yeah, well, it used to be back in the day, like you'd have like the weather girl, but she didn't have to be a meteorologist. She just like relayed the information.
Or Miami.
Is that still how it is?
They still have those, yeah. Or Venezuela, Mexico. I don't know if you get on the internet at all.
Yeah, exactly. They've got they have
Weather Channel.
A lot better looking women on the.
You're just watching Cinemax.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why it's right next to it. Then introduce Telemundo, and then
Yeah, Telemundo is where it's at.
Yeah.
We jump around a little bit. Where were you during Joplin?
Oh, so I was here. I was not working. I don't think that evening. So it was an evening. I did mostly mornings and weekends when I worked here the first 3 years. And if it's not in your DMA, which is like, the region from like Columbia to Effingham, you're not going to get called in.
Sure.
So if it wasn't my shift, I wasn't covering it. So I didn't cover it, but a few months after, I drove to California because I was getting out of town to go get my next job. And so I drove through Joplin and took video of it. And gosh, I wish I would have saved it. But it was just the craziest thing to see. I mean, complete, like, just as far as you could see, just slabs on the ground where houses used to be.
Wow.
And, like, this trees just looked like toothpicks sticking out of the ground. Like, the branches had been shredded off of them and everything. I mean, it was I remember driving, and I didn't know what street I was on because it was like, all the street signs were gone or bent. And then there was a school we drove past or something. I don't know. I thought it was a school because I remember hearing about it. And it was just twisted metal. Like this huge, troll just went, and it just was crazy to see. I'll never forget the images. I actually did so I have a little YouTube channel. And I did, the scariest stories in our history. And one of them was the Joplin tornado.
Really?
And when I went back and watched the footage, there's so much because people had cell phones, and a lot of the historic storms, you didn't have cell phones, you didn't have cameras, everything's in black and white. And I hear just some of the cries and the stories and see the footage. It's emotional because when you see what Mother Nature can really do, that shit makes you just step back and go, wow.
Yeah.
It's like opposing emotions at once. You're mesmerized and fascinated, but then like gutted at the same.
Yeah.
When you let it sink in of.
And every single time, it's just as devastating. I mean, you think about hurricanes and happen every year, and every time you see the images, they're just as bad. And it still gives you that same emotion. But I think the same thing.
Did you watch that documentary
on Netflix? Yeah. Did you watch that?
Which one? Oh,
the Joplin.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where the kids in the gas station and in the high school. It was. Yeah, I was like.
Yeah, but I mean, you also have the other
addiction.
side of it too. The beauty of weather and snow
Right.
and sunrises, and so it never gets boring.
Mother Nature's
That's the thing-
undefeated.
That's the thing that I first loved about weather. When
Sure.
I started working, was because every day was different, and you wouldn't just be going in and doing the exact same thing every single day. You're actually
Yeah.
doing something different. Like the weather's never exactly the same. It can be just close, but not always exactly the same, unless you live in California.
I was going to say you got to be in San Diego for that
And that
shit.
was I did that for a while. San Francisco was so boring. It's like morning fog, afternoon sun.
Right.
Yeah.
Gets a little. So how long were you in San Fran?
6 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was fun. Great place. A lot of crazy
Pre-kids.
crazy stories. That's for another podcast because that was just it was a fun time.
Was it?
Yeah.
I mean, so what ages? Late 20s?
23 or 29ish.
So you were cutting your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh
Gotcha.
yeah.
And that's
But
pre-kids.
It probably was not for the good, for
Yeah,
the good
sure.
of me. I probably
Right,
couldn't
right.
do it now because it was wild. It was.
That's why I stopped drinking at 30.
Yeah. I should have stopped drinking at 30. It took me another decade
Sure.
to get it out.
Better late than never. Did you like San Fran?
I did. Yeah, I lived all over too. I was in San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose. So
Oh, okay.
I was looking for the cheapest rent.
I was going to say
You
it's
know, just
super.
like- Yeah.
Is that still the narrative out there? How expensive it is?
Yeah. And if you haven't been there for a long time, you're not going to get in on good rent, and you're just going to be working your butt off. I mean, everybody that I knew out there worked from 7 to 7.
Wow.
Like they worked 12-hour shifts. You never saw your friends except on like weekends. Like when I first got there, I was like, I'm going out on a Wednesday,
Yeah.
and nobody's out. Like
dead.
no one goes out on
Right.
Wednesdays or Thursdays.
Wow.
I'm like, this is a real.
Interesting.
And everyone goes to the city,
Okay.
like in air quotes, but like it's San Francisco, and so if you don't live in the city, that's where they're going out. So I lived in San Jose, the third largest city in California. And it was a ghost town every weekend. Nobody goes out in San Jose.
Really?
Wow.
They always go to the city.
Is that like Silicon Valley, San Jose?
So,
is-
yeah. But it's just a spread out. It's a large population. You have traffic. It's booming during the day, but at night it's like, does anyone live here?
Man. Yeah, I've never been. My wife's from LA.
Yeah, I'll never live. I don't say never, but I really don't want to live there. And I know people say like, oh, it's great because Hollywood stars and the top rated.
Get the fuck out of here.
But all I can think about is traffic. Traffic.
She
Everywhere you want to
shames
go.
us when we bitch about traffic in St. Louis.
Oh, I'm sure.
She
Yeah.
shames us. So she grew up out there, and I have some family in SoCal, so I've visited enough to know it's not for me to live. No fucking way. And even like God bless like Chino Hills and Diamond Bar and Riverside where she went to high school, like the Inland Empire. But like I don't want to live there. If I was gonna live in LA, I'd want to live, I don't know, sound Malibu and shit.
I'm like, if I want to live in LA, I'm going to live in Arizona.
Sure, got it. I can't afford the
Get
Balboa
close.
Bay Club.
Yeah.
but
Just
I
get
don't have
close.
a yacht to park there.
Exactly.
Malibu Sands.
Yeah.
Zach Morris is a piece of shit.
Bakersfield.
Bakersfield.
There you go.
I remember driving because I have done the drive from LA to or OC to Vegas and go through Bakersfield. And
The
desert.
The problem with the Bay Area and LA and all that stuff, they have a lot of stuff in between. So when you're driving 2 hours, it's like, oh, I got to remember to go to Costco. And oh, I forgot that movie theater was there. And oh, I'm going to go check out a basketball game, right? You just see a lot of stuff. You get out of those places and it's just nothing.
Wow.
right.
And so
right.
the drive seems more excruciating because there's just nothing to look at.
Sure.
Driving down 5,
I went.
I'd rather drive down 1. The
Yeah, right.
Logo-
Is that the PCH?
people here in the Midwest are like, which one? What's 5?
Yeah. Or Chris will
Or
know,
the
yeah.
101. It's so weird how people talk out there because they call
The
it
64,
the 101.
the farty.
The farty far.
And I had to do traffic out there too, so I would be like, well, if you're driving northbound 101, and they're like, we call it the 101. And I'm like, oh, sorry.
Oh, yikes.
So you got to remember weird things like that,
So, what brought you back to St. Louis with kids?
Kids, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That changed the trajectory of my whole life, honestly. Just
hear
the
that.
goal and
Yeah.
how we're going to get to the next chapter and what is the next chapter and what did I just do?
Are your kids, are they twins?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
twins.
twin boys. And it runs in my family. So my mom, when I was little, she was killed. And she had a twin. And then her twin later in life, about maybe 10 years ago, she died, sadly, of a heroin overdose.
No shit. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so her daughter was the one who had the children. And so her daughter is, I don't want to speak bad about my family, but it's just not in a great place and has not been for a long time. And so I knew when I heard she got pregnant that those kids were not going to be with her. And I heard about it, I think in like January of the year they were born, and they were born in March. And what the family had heard, because she was not around a lot, was that she was going to have one girl.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden I heard 2 boys. So new twins ran in the family, but boom, here we are, first kids. They were taken away from her immediately in the hospital.
Okay.
And she left. She got up and walked out of the hospital and didn't even look back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well, there's actually a really long story that gets really spiritual with it. But when I went to Boston,
this is your rodeo
in August,
I'm here for that shit.
Yep.
So I went to Boston in August because of that year they were born, and my whole family, they're just like, oh, you got to go see the kids, and oh, we visited the kids, and oh, we saw, and I'm like asking questions like, do they have 10 fingers? And like, are they cross-eyed? Like, are they in a wheelchair? Like, I needed to know like how bad things were because I knew it wasn't a great.
Mom was using during pregnancy. Sure.
Oh, yeah. And so they were like, they're fine. They look great. And I'm like, well, it's really curious. So I'm at my Nana's house, and there's this piece of paper laying on the table. And I was like, Nana, what's his number? It was like in a big, letter. You know how old people write everything.
Yeah, right.
And she's like, oh, those are the people who called from the foster care and want, me to take Dion's kids. And I was like, sorry. I knew she wasn't going to do it, but, she's like, I'm not doing it. Because she raised Dion, and her sister.
Yeah.
And so I took the paper and just folded it up and put it in my pocket. I was on vacation, so I wasn't about to go through this, like, let me give you a call while I'm on vacation.
It's something to think about, too.
Yeah.
Knee-jerk.
Hey, all of a sudden, yeah. So I left, but the whole time I'm there, everybody in the family was like, oh, they'd be so good with you. But you turned out so good, but look how you turned out.
And I got to ask, you're single at this time? Are you?
I had a partner.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know if people know this, but I'm bi.
Yeah,
so
that
when you say partner, people are like, what?
No, so tell me, so because usually that's part of the equation, because if you're a good partner, I think
I had help to start
sure.
for sure. I didn't go into this like jumping in blindside, without any help. And my partner had a kid too. And so we had been together for 2 years, and I was like, well, just seems pretty stable for me. It was the longest relationship I've ever had. So I was like, I'm in San Francisco, everybody's gay, so it's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. And so I went to Boston in August to see the kids, to visit my family. I had to schedule another time to come back to see the kids. And I didn't even know that I was going to do this. So when I get back to San Francisco, I started having dreams and started seeing random things. Like I didn't have a car at the time, so I had to take the train. And so the train would just be driving, coming on by. And on the side of it would be a billboard that would say, foster and adopt now. And I'd be like, oh, that's pretty strange, And then I'd go to work and see another billboard because I'd have to adjust the sky cams. And so I'm trying to get the best sunset through the camera. And there would be a billboard often to say, make miracles happen. Foster and adopt now.
Holy shit, man.
I was like, this is crazy. And I remember when...
Sometimes God's got to be right in our fucking face, man.
And I remember thinking well, shoot, this is crazy. So I started having dreams. And after the dreams is when it really hit me, because in one of the dreams I saw their face. So I had 3 dreams, one in August, one in September, and one in October. Well, in October, after that dream, because I had time to think about this at that point.
Because they were born in March, so this is the same. They're less than a year old. Got it.
And me and my partner had talked about it quite a bit. And so it was like, well, this is kind of getting to the point where this could be real. Like, this could actually happen. So I started thinking, well, let me just see if I just call a few foster places up in Boston, if they'll give me the information, because I knew their names, like the birth names.
Because you're considered a kinship.
Mm-hmm. So they're looking for me. Yep. I knew they were looking for me, but I didn't know how they, would find me. So I started calling different places, and they're like, sir, we can't give you any kids' information. You could be anybody.
Right.
I'm like, oh, shit, you're right. You got a point. So then I think after a couple of days went by, I remembered I had that piece of paper. I was like, oh, yeah. So I'm looking through the luggage, like, where'd I put that paper at? And so I find it, I call it, and somebody answered, and they said this person doesn't take care of the case anymore. So they put me through to the other person who does. And from there on, it just took off. That woman, she put me in touch with the foster mom. The foster mom was an ICU, or no, intensive care home, ICH, intensive care home unit.
Like her, so
the foster mom, you have to be like licensed to take care of kids with autism and that have, they're banging their heads.
Missouri,
with
we call that, I think, level A placement.
Okay. So
I think
it's different in every
quote
state,
me on
I
that,
guess.
right? But it is totally
it's like the
different.
highest level of care because they have severe issues.
Absolutely.
And so my kids were born with a nebulizer. They had a floppy airway, so their esophagus wasn't fully developed. So they had a nebulizer for the first year of their life. And of course, the stuff that
every night.
was
how
on.
was that? How I can get? I like
every day, every morning and night, like
morning
3 times
and
a
night.
day.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I remember when they came to me, I had to do that.
Sure.
For a couple of years, and so we started FaceTiming and talking. She was a sweet lady, and a house full of kids. And in January or February, we went up there. Me and my partner went up to visit, and it was like the rest just took off. I mean, it was like. That was January, and they were placed with me in May.
If you didn't have your mind made up by the time you left, it was over when you went and met him in person.
Here's the part. You were talking about crying. So if anybody's going to cry, this is the moment. Okay? So
I'm getting close.
The day that we left to go back to California, we go to visit, and Matthew had been crying the whole day. Wah, 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 wah. And I'm going to have to show you the picture. So the foster mom and her Boston accent, she's like, oh, I don't know what's wrong with him. He's been crying all morning. I gave him his bottle and nothing's working. So they're just, she's in disarray like when I get there. And so I just picked him up and I was like, hey, looking at him in the mirror, like, look at you crying. And he's just, I mean, snot and everything.
Sure.
And eventually, after a few minutes of me just holding him, he fell asleep. And the foster mom, she's like, "Will you look at that?" She's like, "I gotta get my camera." She's like, "Don't move a muscle." So she goes and gets her camera, and I swear, it's the sweetest picture.
It's a lifer,
and it is. It's like that. When I saw the picture, I was like, "Wow, this is meant to be."
Oh God!
Turn that this way.
He's like, "Let me see."
Ball game.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God!
It's over there. That's what.
So I was like, "Oh, well." This is happening.
Yeah.
I just got goosebumps. Yeah, that's incredible, man.
So that's how that happened.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then I had to take foster care classes.
Sure. Here in Missouri?
In California.
Okay.
I was in California.
Oh, you were in...
Yeah.
It's a whole nother...
Yeah. So 6 weeks of foster care classes, and then the last week, they were like, I was like Wednesday, and then Friday they were there. And then I remember like when the kids got there, because I had like bought.
Did they do like the ICPC Interstate Compact?
Everything.
Yeah.
All that stuff, paperwork, home studies.
Don't get me started on that.
I had a lady who gave me the house study, the first lady, and she's like, "I have some concerns," and I was like, "Do you say that to everybody?"
Right.
And she's like, "Your kitchen's so clean, it doesn't even look like you cook." I was like, "No, because I know how to clean too."
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I was like, "You're not about to get
shit.
in my way of getting these kids. Like nobody else is taking them. Like, shut up, come on, get out of here." And I lived on like the 17th floor of a high rise, and she's like, "And you're very high up." I'm like, "You need to go," but I didn't know. But they told me, because the foster mom helped me through a lot of this, that you can request a new person if you don't like the person that you're dealing with.
Huh. I wouldn't have known that.
I mean, she helped me through literally every single thing I needed to do to get prepared to have them.
What
and
are
even
what are your kids' names?
Matthew and Alex.
Matthew and Alex. So Matthew and Alex's foster mom is who you're talking about now that helped. God bless her, man.
Yeah, and she had 5 other adult kids, and then she had adopted 3 when I was there.
That's called an angel on her.
Yeah. I've told her that.
Yeah,
yes.
man.
And she just texted me this year and told me she's retiring. I was
just going to ask if you guys are still in touch.
I would think you would. Oh, yeah, all the time. Sometimes I'll text her about different things. Like, I'm really struggling with this. Can you help? Because, there are things that we've had to go through with, like, developmental delays and ICPUs and I don't forget what the other one's called in the school.
IEP.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It takes a village, man, and she's part of your village. That's cool.
Yeah.
Chris, did you guys make the contact about or connection about foster?
A little bit, but I don't know, not fully. So I just get all this. really your journey with alcohol is selfishly the second thing I want to talk about. I mean,
yeah. Let me finish this.
No, I don't even want to get there yet because the foster stuff is so important to me, man.
This is the moment. I remember the billboards. Remember talking about that?
Yeah, yeah.
The night that I got the call, because you have to get approved, you get background checks, fingerprints. Everybody in your house has to get background. Like everything has to get clearance, right?
Got to have fire extinguisher, no guns.
And the night that they said everything was good, I got the green light. I was pulling into Popeyes. This is so funny because I remember I was thinking, out of all the places I'm at, here I am at Popeyes Chicken, and I see this, and the billboard said, "Welcome to Parenthood."
Get the fuck out of here.
God.
And I was like, this is so crazy.
I just wanted some red beans and rice. Love their red beans and rice.
Yeah.
I make some good Portuguese red beans and rice, by the way, which is what I'm going to
Wow.
be bringing to St. Louis. So
Okay.
that's my next venture.
Can't wait to hear
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So to Jeff, what you were saying, like the connection, and Iggy had heard, and I think my mother, because she follows you on social media, had heard that you're connected to the foster care community or have a story.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, my wife and I owe our life to the, our son was our first placement when he was 3, and we were adopted him when he turned 6, and when I met Ashley, I met her at church, and finally, I don't know what the accurate story is. I like to tell people that she stalked me, but that's just not the truth. I believe it or not, wore her down, and finally asked her out. My mom kept saying, "What about this church girl? What about this church girl?" And to be honest with you, I tell people this is so true. I went to the church, the gathering. We've talked about it before, and it was my recovery program. So I was not about to start fucking around in it, and because of the relationships of my past, we can't even go to the same tavern together when we break up, let alone the same fucking church. So I'm like, I don't shit where I eat. This is too important to me. And finally, God wore me down a little bit, and I did ask her out, and on our first date, she was like, "I need to tell you something." And she still to this day says it was like she was like telling me she was pregnant. She's like, "I'm finishing my license next week to become a certified foster parent." She had been divorced, struck out a couple times with some online creeps, and then said, "You know what? I'm too called to I have an open home and a lot of love to give. I'm too called to this community. I'm just going to do it on my own," which is ballsy as fuck. And I'm like, holy shit. So instead of running, she thought I was going to run for the hills, and it just made me respect her more. And I love kids. So fast forward, they had to rush me through the STARS training is what it's called here to get our, because I had to be licensed too if I was going to be a part of the kid's life. And it just fast forwarded and learned so much in that training. And what I heard you say earlier about how you'll reach out to the foster mom still, like for advice, like there's nothing more humbling than being a parent probably, but I would say this because we don't like, can you imagine thinking we knew everything in this shit? Like, and like to be able to ask for help. I don't know. I could never do this without help.
Yeah.
Without like the realization that I don't know shit about fuck. Like I always say when it comes to Ruth Langmore. And I need all, like the village.
I was sitting on the toilet yesterday, and I wanted to text somebody that, and I said, I probably shouldn't.
That's my favorite saying. Like it just keeps me humble, which is also probably one of my 3 beacons in recovery is humility. But there's nothing that's humbled me more than fucking Charlie.
Yeah.
And the thought of this woman in your life and all the kids that she's helped, man, I just So they're 13, almost 13 now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. A whole new challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. I am grateful that I have a boy now. He's been I'd say his baseline was Sonic the Hedgehog. He's active, but boys, they say, get a little easier. The girls are the ones who when they hit 13.
I think twins are a whole different storm.
I can imagine. I
Because
can't.
I've heard that from people, but I think when you have 2, it's just it's just chaos.
Yep.
It is just chaos. It's not like having 2; it's like having 4.
Wow, trust me. I can't.
I remember. So you may remember some of my friends from TV, like Randy Knott and Allie Corey. So Allie Corey, who we worked with on in St. Louis, pretty girl, long blonde hair from Tampa.
I admire her work.
Yeah. I loved her to death. She was one of my favorites. She's like lifelong friend. And she had one, and I was like, "Oh, this is amazing! You can be so happy." And then she had two, and I was like, "Your life is over."
Did you hear that,
And then
Jeff?
she had three. And
Jeff has one.
We have one,
it didn't
and we're
scare.
done.
It didn't
One and
scare.
done.
It didn't scare.
Did it right
but,
the first time.
Love Allie.
She has 3 now?
Yeah, she's in Tampa. So.
Okay. So and how are they? Do they have that twin bond that you hear about?
Oh, not yet.
Okay. They're
Praying for the twin.
They're like at each other's throat every day.
Are they similar at all, or do they?
Very similar.
Okay.
Very similar in how they like to dress, like their social groups, but very different in like how they respond to things.
Okay.
But it switches. Like even in school, like one year one will do well, and then they'll flip, and then one's like struggling. I'm like, you did so good last year.
Yeah.
So that's hard to deal with. Yeah.
Do they? I mean, and so they were just over one. I was just doing the math when they came to
14
and got
months.
some permanency in their life,
Yeah,
which is
14
incredible.
months. But I tell you, it was full. Those next 3 years for me was filled with therapy.
Sure.
Not like me laying on a couch like I need help. Them going to therapy for like motor skills and
OT type of
learning
stuff.
how to like hold a pencil and regulate emotion, and because there were some delays. Like you said,
I mean they were
IEP.
born addicted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I've seen that, and we have the only way, and I don't know if I credit this to Ash, she's the wise one in the relationship, but also with the recovery stuff, like group learning, getting through life with groups is in a community is really the only way I've learned. So we formed this foster and adoptive support group, and we're all still super close with these people that have all kind of come. They're just got gifts, and everybody's got different stories, but everybody, it's just that if we can all get together and not say one thing about foster, but we know we're with the if you know you know group. And it's funny when you were talking about the boys that one of our dearest friends who's a single mom has adopted 2 boys and getting ready to adopt her daughter that's her last foster placement. The one boy was always kind of up to getting a short end of the stick on some behavior stuff, and he's like flipped and now getting awards at school, and now the other one's lighting a fire on Thanksgiving. And we're like, well, good for I'll say their names, but good for.
Does her name start with J?
It does.
Okay,
Yeah. And it's so we've been laughing about it, but it's if you can't laugh, and you'd
be sad and depressed.
Holy cow! So
but that's why I moved back to St. Louis, because I had that group here.
The village.
I didn't have any help out there. And I remember being at the park one day. They were like maybe 2.5, and they're like, Dad, 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 like little ducks, like Dad, 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 Dad. And I was just like, oh my God, please call somebody else's name.
just
I just needed something to say auntie or cousin or grandma or something. Because it was just dad nonstop. And I was like, I'm doing everything. And then, of course, you still had to work.
Right.
I mean, you still got to support yourself. Go to the grocery store. I couldn't imagine. So this is incredible, too, how I got back. Because I'm very spiritual. I don't know if, I'm supposed to be a shaman or something. Or, God is just I'm the chosen one, but he speaks to me in my dreams.
He's given it to you pretty directly.
And so when I left California, straight up heard God say, quit your job. Like that. And I was like,
that's big.
I was like, well, you mean quit put in my 30-day notice?
Right.
You want me to write a letter? And I was like, because I've grown up in the church, and I literally remember having this conversation. I go, God, you're a God of order and decency, and that is not. I have to let my contract end, and that would be that would be decent. And I was torn. I couldn't shake it, and that's how I knew that it was God speaking to me. And I was going through it at work. I was struggling. They would be like, we need you to come back and cover this. I'm like, I can't come back. I only have a babysitter from this amount of time.
Right.
And then it's just me. And so I started noticing, I can't even be my full self at work anymore because I'm being pulled in so many different directions.
And you're single dadding it at this time?
At that point, yes.
Yeah. I could.
After the kids came, the relationship fell apart, which is also another common thread in my life.
Well,
So I admire people that can get through that phase.
I've heard
from 0 to 3,
single dad shit is fucking
hard.
superhero, man. That is incredible. Bravo. I don't know how you fucking do it.
I drank a lot at that point still, and smoked a lot of weed.
Yeah.
And a few other things at that time.
Really?
But, I had to come out of that. I remember one time in San Francisco, and I don't know if it was pride or something, but you go out all night, and then I woke up on the sidewalk.
Oh.
At like midnight. It was like, what the hell just
That's scary,
happened?
man.
Where are my friends? Like, what?
Just no
Are
recollection.
you kidding me?
Yeah. They all just bailed.
I guess. They said I wanted to fight him, and I left, which is another thing which is why there
You
were a
get
lot.
pissed?
When you are drinking like that, and your life isn't where you want it to be, things will come out, whether it's through a fight with somebody you don't even mean to fight with. I got in a fight with a security guard at one of the bars, and I was like banned for like a year. It was pretty badass status though. People were like, let's go to that bar. I'm like, no, I'm banned.
I'm banned.
That's me at the
They're like,
Ameristar Casino.
he's banned from the club. That's
Lifetime.
so sexy.
Are you serious? You got banned from the Ameristar?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's like the easiest club to go to, or like casino.
They we were walking out, and it was like 8 frat boys that just started talking shit to my cousin Allison, who was in town, and then my 80-year-old uncle at the time. And I'm like, what's going on? And I didn't say what's going on. I just started swinging. And
I will say I did get in a fight there.
thank you.
At the
So-
Ameristar, you did?
With some folks from TV.
So
It was
that's
like
wild.
a charity event.
Nice.
Was it people from another channel? Was it like
No, it was
Like
all my
Anchorman?
channel.
Anchorman?
It was all my channel.
Oh.
Like some random dude just came up. He didn't know what was going on in our circle. We were having some total debauchery fun. And he did not like the way I touched somebody and stepped in.
Okay. Did he get dealt with, I hope?
Yeah.
All right, good.
I think so.
Is this
Here's the
person on
problem.
TV?
No, the person who fought me is not on TV. It was
okay.
a rando.
It would have been amazing.
But all my friends were like, in the hustle, like, get off of him. Like, he got your back.
Nice. So I could probably walk into the Ameristar and play. Right.
Yeah.
It's when I hit a fucking jackpot where they got to take your ID is when
You're not supposed to be here.
They're not going to pay you, and that they will not pay you. Like
Yeah.
that's my fear. Like I'm not going to walk in anymore, and they're going to like, hey, get him out of here. I don't know me from Adam,
Yeah.
but it's when they scan you in the computer, and when they're supposed to hand you $5 or $10 grand, and they're like, oh, sorry, buddy,
Yeah.
sorry about you.
Yeah.
That's when I get kicked out again for
Yeah.
swinging.
Yeah, I tell you, I literally had a conversation with a buddy of mine. He's not like a super close friend, but I know him through media. Mm-hmm. And he came up to me a couple nights ago at an event, and he's like, you remember what happened at this particular one? And I was like, no. And the fact that he had said that just reminded me, I was like, that's why I stopped drinking. Because there just were so many times where it was like, and then you start to think like, what do you want to be known for?
Yeah,
Like,
man.
as I'm getting older, that's really the thing I've come to know. Like, yeah, you can have fun your whole life and do whatever you want, forever. But like, what are people going to say about you at the very end? And like, what are you going to think about yourself at the very end? Because you can't get away from yourself. You can't get away from your thoughts and
So
the
wise, man.
shame and the guilt. Like, I remember when I was in my early 20s and I was always broke. And I was like, I hate being broke. And then I had to assimilate the feeling of being broke so that I would stop being broke. Because I didn't like feeling like I was broke.
Right.
And so I was like, in order to get out of being broke, I was like, I like to feel like I have money. And so I had to start saving my money. And that's the same, I think, with everything. Like, it's just, you can't, I try not to be addicted to anything. And that when I start noticing behavior like that even in my kids, like, you've been on the phone all day.
Yeah.
Because I know what that leads to, impulse behavior and a lot of other crazy stuff that I've done, that I would not, care to share. But,
Sure.
I know where it led me to. And then,
Bio mom was an addict.
yeah, and I know it's in our blood, what's in our family,
Yeah.
because it wasn't just hers. A lot of people,
Right.
especially on my mom's side, that have dealt with addiction. Some of them,
Do they know anything about bio dad?
not really.
Yeah.
No.
It's probably a safe bet to say there's some addiction stuff there, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll probably talk more offline about this, but I it's always here my son's got addiction in both his bios, and his foster dad is an alcoholic. He comes to Underground, and I remember one night, he's got basketball practice on Wednesday nights. It's the recovery community we created, and I was telling you about on the phone. He said, I think I told this story, but he said, this is really cool what you're doing. I go, I'm glad you come. He's like, this is for the recoverists and the alcohols. So he gets it, but he's wise beyond his years. He has to be emotionally articulate. It's been a gift because when you start as a foster, there's a therapist involved, and they have to, and we continued that to this day. He's got a really good relationship with his therapist. And when you guys moved to St. Louis, were they still in foster care legally?
No, they were adopted.
They were adopted by then. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was an easier move.
Because it was in through the family. So
yes, got it.
It just moved. Everything moved through the courts faster.
Right.
But it still took us 2 years to get the completion from foster to adoption.
That's wild.
Yeah.
See,
that's how the system.
There's this big Mississippi River that you don't like to drive across because you think us and Anthony was saying that. I know you guys aren't that far, but you are. You want to talk about like frustrating interstate compact stuff?
Oh, yeah.
It's the paperwork.
Oh, absolutely. I remember thinking at one point, if you don't even like kids, like say you're just like doing it for the money.
Right.
The paperwork is enough to deter you.
Right. And the money
there
is
so much paperwork.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, it really is. And I would tell them, like, I already went and did this, a background. Well, we need you to do it again. I'm like, for what? Well, after 6 months, he goes out, this is stupid. And you'd just be frustrated. I mean, beyond compare. And then, like, I couldn't imagine having the kids because when I got the kids, a lot of the stuff that I had to do was just home visit. Like, it was just, they visited my house because there was no bio mom involved. So I didn't have to, like, try to get them together. They were out of the state. So it was really easy to just, all right, full steam ahead.
They had their own caseworker?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But then, like, there were issues when it came to, like, out of state. We over in Massachusetts, it's this way, but in California, it's this way.
Yes.
And there were, like, two different
it's
things.
Counterproductive to the kids. Like,
yeah.
Because these rules were created for something, but it's not blanket. It's like, let's use common sense on this one.
Yeah.
And those boxes are hard to check, and it's not.
I will say,
off
though,
on the system. There's so many people.
The system is terribly broken.
Right.
But the therapy, the occupational therapists, the folks who do the therapy, I don't know whether they're licensed through the state or what. I don't know how they get them. But those folks were incredible because those people helped me actually communicate to my little babies who didn't know how to really express themselves very well. One of them used to slam his head on the floor. So, that was like, we got to get him a helmet. So you start really, you're able to connect with them better.
Yeah.
Like they were saying, they have a 7-month delay on this area. And I was like, instead of thinking I'm talking to a 2-year-old, I'm really talking to a 1-year-old. So it just helped me, understand. They would fall all the time.
Okay.
When they first started walking, and that was because their vestibular system, which I didn't even know was a thing.
I didn't until you just said it.
And that's how your head is in space.
Okay.
So where you feel like you are naturally. Like, are you here? Are you there?
And you learned this from the OT. Like, that's incredible.
But I was able to, help them better.
Sure.
When I knew where they were at. Like, instead of me expecting them to act like they're 3, it was like, they're really 2.
Have you read that book? Do you read? I don't.
No, I can't remember last time I read it. I did used to love reading. I did. Actually, last book I read was Millionaire Next Door during COVID. Changed my life, but I haven't read anything since.
I just cliff notes from my wife. She reads all she does is read. She is reading some of these nasty ass smutty romance novels, and I finally
you're like, would Jesus read that now?
I said to her, "You're pissed. You yell at me when I'm on Mr. Skin or something, but you're over here. You should see some of the shit these romance novels that Novel Neighbor are coming out with."
Yeah.
Skis, but she's the Body Keeps Score. Have you heard of that? Mm-hmm. It's about trauma that even your kids they experience before they're able to articulate it from birth on, and how the body keeps score of that. Like it always stays with you. It's a pretty. It was really what she's digested to me is really good to know in this, and it's been, I think, the book's pretty popular amongst like the STARS classes and the foster community because our kids do come with what I mean, just their story is trauma, right?
Yeah.
Even the being born into addiction, but losing bio mom and then changing home, and those are all events that we think, well, they're too young, they know. That's kind of what the book gets at. So we'll just send you the cliff notes or something. It's helpful. It's just you feel seen in that shit, and then it helps you remind you, oh, okay, because I think these kids are superheroes, man. I really do.
Yeah.
And it made, I grew up with some pretty good privilege. Second third base compared to a lot of people and starting in the ninth inning. But and then you go through a system like this, and it changed me.
Yeah.
I think
Well, I
for the
mean,
better.
that's the only reason I felt like I could adopt, because I had a great dad.
Sure.
You know, I mean, since I was little, when my mom passed away, he decided, you're mine, I'm going to take care of you. I had a little brother who was taken away from me because we had different dads. And so growing up without him, I was like, oh.
Talk about trauma. You got it.
Yeah.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah. Sure, I
How
drank a
old
lot.
were you? Yeah, no shit. No wonder why you're self-medicating.
I had to get it out.
How old were you when your mom was killed?
7.
Fuck.
Yeah. And so he was 1. And he just passed away a couple years ago, probably of addiction of some sort. He was in a
God.
home, a group home, but he ran away, and they found him dead.
I'm so sorry, man.
So it was like, oh. You know, it's one of those things you think, you know, they're always going to get better.
Yeah.
Especially when you see, like, because I think he grew up with privilege, too. But I don't think privilege always translates for the best.
No.
You know? I think you got to be told no a little bit. You got to be punished a little bit. You got to be chastised, and you know, because when you're just given everything, you just don't think there's any repercussions in life. And that's the hard part I'm teaching my kids right now. Like, there is a consequence for everything, whether you like it or not. And some of the consequences are just automatic. You know, like if you're gonna do a ton of drugs, chances are you're gonna die. You're gonna overdose at some point. You know, if you play with fire, you know, you're gonna get burned. And just, it's hard to teach. And I think I'm a little guilty of this growing up too, so it's a little bit karma. Rebellious children. You know, I think that's the hard part when it comes with the system, is they're rebellious, but they're not rebellious towards you per se. That's just how they are now. Like they come with that rebel in them. It's like built into. There's a book, Rebel Without a Cause.
Yeah.
Many years ago I read that. But it's built into you, like that rebellion. They don't mean to be, like, you know, teenagers don't mean to be jerks. You know, it just comes with being a teenager.
I think for me, being a quote unquote rebel and learn, you know, you can tell me the easy way to learn something, but I, for some reason, usually learn with my foot in my mouth or getting burnt a little bit. And thank God it hasn't been. Yeah. I did end up in rehab, but, you know, grief.
Yeah, I mean,
trauma.
I think as you get older, those life lessons that, you know, your parents were trying to teach you, they start making more sense. And so I'm like, just keep saying the right thing, keep teaching them the right. One day it'll come around, but you know, you got to have faith that it's going to, because
it was constant worry if not.
Yeah, I mean, but honestly, like, you got to lay the groundwork, and then like a solid foundation, right?
Sure.
And then everything else is just built on top of that. And I think if they've got that solid foundation, you know, a good home, you don't have to worry about whether your lights are going to get cut off or food's in the fridge. You know,
structure,
I think,
man.
Yeah, that helps them, because even now, you know, they'll see me and they're like, "You just get to stay at home all day. That must be so nice." I'm like, "I'm not just staying at home. I'm actually doing stuff."
Right.
Like, they asked me today, "What are you doing?" "I'm going on this podcast." And, okay, and got to go to the grocery store. So, you know, it's not just dad hanging out at home, but even while I'm not working at a corporate American job, you know, I'm still doing something.
Yeah, of course.
Which shows them that, you know, you can't just sit around and do nothing. Like, that's the thing I think was a wake-up call for me when it came to drinking.
Yeah.
Because I could literally just sit around, drink every single day, and do absolutely nothing. Or smoke a ton of pot every single day and just sit on the couch and do nothing.
Yeah, I could
and be okay with that.
Right, I could do that only drinking, and I can't do it sober.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, I definitely could do that drinking or high.
Yeah.
But
but for me, and I remember, like, because the sequence of events was I stopped drinking, then I lost my job. And it was like, all these years I showed up hungover. All these years that I was probably still a little half drunk, you know, had a hangover, headache, going into work.
Play hard. Yeah.
You know, because the hours you get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And as I got older, just having one drink was like, I can't even do it, because it would hurt so much just to wake up on the other end of that.
Fucks up your sleep. It just ruins it.
And so I just thought it was ironic how that all transpired. Like, oh, dang, now I'm sober. But what I replaced it with was working out every single day. And I tried to, like, immediately when I left the hospital, because I was hospitalized from drinking too much. And that's why I was like, I got to stop. And it was from getting gastritis, inflammation of the small intestine, which people don't think that you can even get that, but you totally can.
And you got it from
Yeah, the drinking was what alerted me to the pain and everything, because I was drinking, like, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
What were you drinking?
Like whiskey.
So it was hard liquor.
Just hard liquor, like right after work, get a pint, just down it.
What do you, like, when did you, so you hit it hard in San Francisco, is that fair?
Yeah.
And then when you got back, you I mean, and
remember we talked about the linear path?
Yes.
Yeah. So, at that point, it's like, yeah, I want to be done. I want to stop. But I was like, 30, 35. I'm like, I still want to do stuff and be social and go out. All my friends drink. Everybody's drinking. And so it wasn't like a health thing. It was like more of a conscious thing.
Okay.
Like I want to do the right thing. I want to show my kids, how to be an example. And then when I ended up in the hospital at 40, that's when it was like, oh, shit. Yeah. Like, you got to chill. Because
just the thoughts of changing weren't getting you to the change that you needed.
No. And honestly,
this has been a theme in your story that God shows up with billboards and direct messages because the subtle reminders aren't it?
He knows me. He's like, no. But when I ended up in the hospital and talking to some of the nurses and doctors there, they were just straight up with me, like, you just can't drink like that. The older you get, your body just doesn't metabolize the alcohol the same. And, you start getting fatty deposits on, like, your liver and different. And they did a whole, like, they couldn't figure out what the issue was first.
Sure.
And so they did a scan on my liver, on my gallbladder, on my
did
pancreas,
they ask you
and everything.
If you were drinking?
Oh, yeah.
And were you honest?
Yep.
Okay.
And the guy, he goes, the doctor, so how much alcohol could you drink in a day? And I go,
good question, though.
I go, a whole bottle? And he's like, how big a bottle?
See, that's a good question, because if they ask you how much do you drink, you're going to bullshit them.
I was like, 2 or 3 glasses, right? But he said, how big a bottle? I was like, I could probably drink a bottle of whiskey like that big in a day, a night, a whole day or night. And he goes,
yeah, you're an alcoholic. That's me saying that.
Well, and they asked me, like, are you having any withdrawals while I was there? Because I had to be there for 2 or 3 days. I was released on the 3rd day. But because they had to do so many tests, they didn't know it was gastritis at first. They thought, well, maybe it's his liver.
I mean, I would, yeah,
that gallbladder, or maybe it's his this and this. And during that time of me waiting, going through, the MRI, and going through another scan, and you're just wondering, like, damn, did I just fuck myself up? Like, shit, like, I've been drinking way too much. Like, then you're dealing with all those eternal thoughts while people are scanning you and coming back to draw blood, and
like a normal person's anxiety.
Yeah. And so then when they discovered it was gastritis, which was inflammation of the, intestine, they were like, well, this, if you rubbing alcohol over a cut just over and over and over, it's never going to heal. So that's what was basically happening on the inside.
Wow.
And so if I would have just stopped drinking for a little bit, like a couple weeks, maybe a month, it would have healed, got better. So they did a scope. They had to put a camera down into my stomach to see it. Which is why I had to stay. They had to, I had to not eat for one day, one night or whatever. But that for me was like a wake up call. Like, even one of the doctors said, if you keep drinking like this for another 10 years, you'd be done by 50.
Sure.
Like fatty liver disease,
and that's not a pretty way to go either.
Liver. And so all of that was just like, whew. And I remember they gave me the images of the scan. They're like, here's your paperwork, and then you see there was a in color image of my stomach on the inside, and it was the brightest red that I've ever seen. Like, how you see like Christmas and everybody's put their poinsettias out, and you see red and green all the time. And sometimes you might see a really bright red, and you go, oh wow, that's really like, you can see that red on your fold over there, right? It was deeper and darker, and the reddest thing I've ever seen. And I just thought, like, ooh, that doesn't look good. And then you could see,
and that was the inflammation?
Yeah, that was in my stomach. And then you could see, like, the different parts of the stomach that were actually good. And it was, like, a nice pink hue. Like, really looked like a pink, like Belinda from Wicked. Like,
okay. You were talking about Wicked earlier.
But to see the red, I was like, wow. And that, for me, was a wake-up call. And I went 6 months just clean, cold turkey, nothing.
Like that Glinda.
Yeah. Good witch.
Yeah. But for me, I needed to do that. And I tried to replace it with working out. Right away, but I couldn't.
So this was 2 years ago?
This was this 40? Last year.
This last year? Okay.
Yeah, this year that I'm living through right now. Yeah.
So you got out of the hospital, and you said, I'm done for a little bit.
Yeah, at that time I was like, I'm never drinking again.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I'm not going to ever drink again. And I put that flag up, and I did post about it on Facebook. And I remember going visiting family in Boston in June. And everybody was like kind of nervous.
I think that's
like,
why Iggy reached out, because he's doing some work for us, and known him for a long time. He's a big part of the Megan Meyer Foundation, who we support big time. They do great work. And he was like, did you hear Anthony Slaughter's sober? And usually I got, if I hear somebody that's St. Louis famous, I was like, maybe, or I did. I was like, man, we should get him on the podcast. That'd be awesome. And then you went through. So that's why you reached out, because you were posting about Hey, man.
When I had done like a month, and then I was like 100 days. I was like, I'm at 160, and I maybe got to like 6 months, I think.
So you made it 6 months.
6 months. I went to Boston and just threw it all away. That's how I felt about it at the time.
To what you said earlier about when we were talking, for the listeners, like you said that it hasn't been linear for you, which I equate to grief, and I think it's real important here. And I'm so glad you're here, being honest and vulnerable and sharing this part, because this recovery looks different to every different person. And to be honest, like the way you're being honest is so important for people to hear. When you said it hasn't been linear, it hasn't been just up and to the right, because that is a fucking fairy tale.
I had to have a moment with myself. Like, they're asking me to come on this sobriety thing. I don't know if I want to do it. Like, I'm not completely sober. Like, I don't want to put on this front. So I went back and forth with myself, even if I was going to do this because of that. And then, like, I've always learned that honesty is the best way. Being transparent is just the best way, regardless of how it feels. Like, that is just the best way. And I was like, well, I could just tell them. I mean,
I'm so glad.
What's going to happen? And so, and I told you, I was like, maybe they'll say, like, no, we don't want you to come on. But when you said that, I thought, like, that is what people do. That's how people deal with it. And when people aren't honest about it, right, they're hiding it. And they're doing it in the bathroom. They're hiding, going to the garage.
I'd be so worried about you if you were out there bullshitting or bullshit us, because, I mean, it don't cost us anything if you lie to us, but it costs you.
Yeah,
like that's
like, imagine I'm driving home, right, and I get a DUI, and it's like, we thought he was sober, right? Like, everything that you just
and what you're lying about
is just a fake story, right? And I mean, how much phoniness do we need in the world now? I mean, everything seems to be phony, right?
Yeah, I mean, you
fake.
Don't know what's
Yeah.
You're being honest with yourself, which is, I think you're on the right track. Like,
I tell you, when you have kids to hold you accountable, it's hard to lie to yourself.
When you were saying that about honesty,
my kids will rip me up. Dad, you said you're never, and I'm like, I
kids
know, but it's
they
Friday.
Don't fucking play either.
Yeah, they do. And that's why it's a relationship. We think as parents is both ways, or is one way. Like, I'm your dad, you're going to listen to me. But a lot of times we can learn from our kids, because they'll say stuff to me and I'm like, dang, like, you just said a whole quantum theory.
Yeah.
You don't even know it,
What did he tell me the other day?
Because one day they were like, fine, you want to end up in the hospital again? Drink. And I was like,
he pissed me off about something.
I hear you.
Yeah.
And then like, he was like, it was fucking so wise. And I even told him I appreciate it, because he's like, okay, you didn't have to get so intense about it. Because I got all pissed. And I'm like, you're fucking right. Like, it was stupid.
I get so angry.
I didn't have
about
to get
stuff,
so intense about it.
Like, literally, my kid told me that I could go watch TV downstairs the other day, and I was like, would you talk to your grandma that way? Did you see this house? Do you pay these bills?
Right.
Yeah.
But he's telling you that for a reason. Maybe
like, you need to chill.
And it does stop. And when you were saying honesty is the best policy, I remember they taught in the foster training classes, like, honest, age-appropriate honesty for these kids is the best way, because if you don't tell them the truth, they're going to make up something in their head, like the monster under the bed shit, and because they got questions, and if we don't answer them and as honestly as possible, and I'm not talking about Santa Claus, I'm talking about the life shit, they're going to make up their own, and that's going to, usually their truth is way more fucked up than the actual truth. And that sticks to me anytime we have to have like some tough. We've had to conversations with our kids. So, and it's funny, if I can do that for him, I can fucking bullshit myself. The only person I'm lying to is me. Yeah. So, like, the only person you'd be lying to is really you. Yeah. So to be able to be open and honest about how it's
journal
going,
too. I journal a lot.
Yeah, you mentioned this on our phone call.
That helps me.
Talk about
it. May not help in the moment, but it helps later. Like, I'll write something down, and I'll come back to it like a week or two later, and I'm like, damn, that was deep. Or just like, wow, I was just like in a really crazy space, like, to write this. But I remember after I got let go from Channel 5, like, I went through about, I think, maybe 2 weeks of journaling every single day, because I was like, this is monumental, whether it's good or bad.
Sure.
I've never had, like,
I bet there's some raw shit in
not
there.
Job. Like, I've never had to wake up for something. Like, as an adult, I've always had to go to work. And I'm like, I'm 41, and since 20, or 19, I've worked in a news station, which is a very stressful place. But I've been there, and I've showed up, and I've, did it for all those years. So I just was like, I'm not going to do a damn thing for a couple of weeks.
They sure make it sound like you guys are all one big fucking happy family on TV.
I think the people you see on TV are, but
Okay.
you have bosses.
Yeah.
You have executives, you know, you have people that don't even work at the place who come in town to tell you how to do your job.
Are they locally owned, Channel 5?
No.
Okay.
They're owned by a company
there's-
named Tegna.
So there's a corporate.
Yeah, yeah. And the crazy thing is they'd come in and give us a rundown and do this, and then our ratings would tank. And it's like, why are we doing what you guys are saying? Why don't we just do what we know that works for this area? That was the part that became frustrating.
To nerd out a little bit on media, is ratings specifically what moves the needle for you guys? I heard that can be kind of a false prophecy, if that's all right.
Here's the thing. News stations have to survive, right?
Right.
And so how do they survive? Through sales.
Sure.
And revenue. How do they build sales and revenue? Commercials.
Right.
And, you know, people who are investors, you know, but locally commercials.
Right.
And the problem is you have a lot of things going to digital.
Yeah.
But what do you do when you get an ad when you're online? You skip it.
Yeah.
Sure.
So how do you make money in a place where nobody wants to watch ads? You have to get real creative, you know, place them in different spots and, you know, let the ChatGPT handle it, you know, pop up an ad in 30 seconds, you know, figure out the formula. But the bottom line is they have to make some kind of money. And so if the ratings are low, less eyeballs are on them. And so if you're going to a person saying, hey, we want you to be our sponsor,
Right.
but you also have the competitors going to them saying, we want you to be our sponsor as well, they're going to go the one with the most eyeballs.
So that's the only. So the rating, like the Nielsen ratings, is the.
That's their only proof.
Right.
Right. And
But I
so
heard that those ratings are misleading.
some of them,
Okay.
they would always tell us like, oh, we don't know why these ratings are so low. We're checking into the system, see if something's wrong. And I'm like, no, shit just sucks.
And I've heard
Like,
people say you can definitely shit on them if they're not in your favor, but if they're in your favor, you're gonna shot them from a mountaintop.
The problem, though, with that station for so long is the ratings had been so low for a long, long time, and I think after them moving, people would leave on their own, and then some people got fired, and so the people who left on their own, it was like, well, we got to keep the team going, so let's try to replace them with somebody else that people really like. And then when the people get fired, it's like, well, let's try to act like everything was still good and just keep it moving, right? And so there's always kind of this veil that's presented, like you say, like, you guys make it seem like you really like each other. Well, we really do, but that's also part of the paycheck, right? Like,
Sure.
I remember getting a lot of comments towards the end of my time there that my attitude sucked and that I needed to change my behavior. And I'm like, I got the best attitude in this building.
This is
Are you
from,
kidding me?
This is from like your
From
superior?
managements, yeah, that didn't work with me every day.
Yeah.
That will just hear it through the grapevine. And I'm like, if something sucks, if your on-air product sucks, and people are telling you that at the gym and in the store, and why are you doing so much weather? And why you just did weather? How come? And it's a sunny day. You bring that back to your boss's attention.
Yeah.
You guys are telling us to do more of this, but people are telling me they want this, 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 and this. Well, our research shows, and it's like, oh, fuck your research.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, just be a person.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Like, when we were real people, that's when we were number one. We had Allie, Chester, me, and Rennie. And we were being ourselves.
Rennie's been in this town. I mean, I'm a sports guy, right? I love
Yeah.
playing
And I
hockey
mean,
my
see, the
life.
same thing happened to him.
But-
The problem with big companies like that, and this has been said in our building, in that building, because it's not mine anymore, in that building and outside of it,
Where is the headquarters in Channel 5?
I don't know, they moved.
Since you left?
It was
I know
over there by.
It was
Four's in
downtown.
Westport,
Yeah.
two's
It wasn't
in
downtown.
Maryland Heights.
But I think they've moved. I don't know if they moved already, but I know they were going to move. In fact, I remember having a couple conversations with a few coworkers, and they're like, "Yeah, at the new building." I go, "I probably won't be there."
You
'Cause I
saw
knew.
it coming?
Well, here's the thing: I had a yearly review on a Tuesday, and then that next Tuesday I was gone. So, like, you didn't even give me a chance to clean up my act if I was going to.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the things in that yearly review were some things I have never heard before.
So you've been
that's-
doing this a long time. Your whole
Like,
professional career.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you know that a review
And then
leadership's bad. If you don't know what's in that,
Well, then I
if you've
started
never heard what's
thinking-
in that review before,
Yeah.
then they're shitty.
Then I started thinking, like, I've been doing this all these years. Now, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
my personalities, now all of a sudden, I'm too goofy. Like, all of a sudden, I just don't tell a great story.
Yeah.
Like, that just happened.
Right.
And I remember there was a lady who had been there for maybe 6 months, and I'm like, she had a whole page of stuff I needed to work on. I'm like, you just started.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even know where the bathroom is.
Yeah, you've
like,
been here for
relax.
Enough time for a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Relax.
And
yeah.
then I heard she's gone. But we had 6 news directors in like 4 years. I mean, come on. That's like...
Well, Rennie was a news director, wasn't he?
No. That was Art Holiday.
Art Holiday. Yeah. That's right.
But when you see stuff like that, it should tell you something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, every news station has its own reputation. It has its own story in this community.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that station's being known for now, and, you know, I'm hearing from people that I know, you know, and these are just people in the gym, at the grocery store, it's not the same. They can see it's not the same.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first got back, one of the biggest things was, they let Mike Roberts go and Cindy Pressler. And everybody was pissed about that. And I remember bringing it to my boss when I first got back. And I was like, everywhere I go, that's what people say.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, we have a retention problem. We need to do better. But never did. Like,
Yeah.
it just continued to be this. And so when it happened to me, I realized, like, this is just the same shit.
Yeah.
Different person. It's just, and then when it's happened to Rennie, and mind you, there are other people, Sidney Stallworth, Diamond Palmer, that quietly just...
God, all these names.
just
Yeah.
Ryan
Yeah.
Henson, you know, a lot of people, Abby Larico, Casey Nolan.
I
remember
love
them?
Abby, man.
So there were so many great people who've
Yeah.
done...
Casey Nolan. I
Yeah.
know.
Casey, yeah.
Who've done this. And
Shocked the shit out of me when they got married. I had no idea.
they were so fun, too. And it just shows you that you can be the perfect employee. You can do everything right, and it still doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Did
And
Chester
so-
get fired or did he leave?
Chester decided to go to a sister station, which was kind of like a promotion. Like,
Okay.
you're going to higher up ranking. They were so happy and proud of him, too. And then he went there for a couple of years and got out of the business.
Oh.
He just moved back to New Zealand.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like Chester.
I do, too. Great guy.
Yeah.
But the thing that I
One
had
guy
to
on there I
realize,
don't really care for. I
you
won't say
know,
his name, though.
was like after news, there's life. And you'd hear that from people, you know, outside of that building is life. And I'm discovering that life.
Yeah.
And I'm getting to do all the things I've wanted to do that I never was able to do, which is, you know, I think, because I've thought a lot about, well, what are you going to do? And there are some things I want to dabble in, and then I kind of back up. But one of the things I think about is, you know, even consulting or some kind of something to teach people that have gone through the news, like there is life after news,
Yeah.
and how
Yeah.
to rediscover yourself after that. But I think a lot of people are already doing that in this town. I'm not going to name any names, but there are a few people who've been in the business that are now trying to recreate that. But essentially the point is, you know, rediscovering all those things that I couldn't do. And I think one of the biggest things that's broken in the news business is they don't want you to have any other job outside of the news. Like, they want that to be your only job. And there are clauses in our contract that say you cannot accept gifts larger than $75. You cannot, you know, accept any form of payment when you go to MC or speak at any event.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
Like, I understand some certain non-competes.
You can't have a part-time job that, you know, your face is linked to. Like, I couldn't go
Non-solicits.
work at, like, you know, I couldn't do a commercial for Colgate or, like, Grant's
That's
Farm.
wild. I didn't, yeah.
Nope. You can't have any other source of income. And I think that's the biggest thing right now that's broken with the news business. Because if you look at people that are getting out,
You can't.
they're not getting out to go to better jobs. Like, they're not going, you know, like World News. They're
Right.
not going to, like, CBS News or, like, the Today Show. They're getting out of the business
Completely. Yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah,
a
right.
job where they can
Different
do
industry
4
completely.
and 5 different
What's
jobs.
that girl's name that's from Channel 4? That
Alexis Odos.
Yeah, she's doing great things.
Exactly.
do it on her terms.
But the problem is when you're at the station, they'll never tell you how great you are.
No,
They'll
they want you
they'll
to
never,
fear-based
Yeah. Oh,
stay.
yeah.
They want you to stay
And I
out of
remember
fear.
having a conversation with one of my managers because I asked, it was the first year I didn't get a raise. And I go, well, how come didn't get a raise this year? I mean, I stayed late. I did extra work. I filled the gap. You know, they tried to, you're not a team player. Like, I was like, I did all that shit. And they go, well, it's because you're still the number 3 meteorologist. And I went,
Excuse me?
let me show you a number 3 meteorologist. And then last year went on to win St. Louis Magazine's number 1 meteorologist in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And then the person who said that to me literally sent me the picture, one of my bosses.
Holy shit.
Congratulations, so proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, nothing like being a #1 meteorologist.
Nice. God.
And then you know what else happened? That same year, we had 2 big severe tornado outbreaks. And the coverage that I was on in the morning at like 3 in the morning, #1 on the Tegna tag board, which is like across all platforms for all stations all across the country.
Yeah.
Wow.
Again, I send it back. Nothing like being a #1 meteorologist. But like, how dare you try to say because of your fucked up show that nobody wants to watch to try to assimilate that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get it. They got a boss too. And what I was hearing from the head of the company is that none of the stations were performing good enough. We got like did not meet expectation. I was like, I never had that shit. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
Like on my review, I was like, are you kidding me? I didn't meet I'll show you did not meet expectation.
Right.
And I think that's when they were like, well, we just got to let him go because it didn't work.
Right.
I think it backfired on their behalf because it was like, I wasn't willing to take a did not meet expectation. You're a #3 meteorologist, no rate, like all this bullshit.
Yeah.
And then, we still need you to do like extra work weekly.
Right.
Like not just every year they add stuff, but every week it was like, we're going to try this week and see if it works. It's like, can you just let something be? That was the biggest problem with that station. They just could not let something be. They can't let it live on. They see the ratings and they're like, knee-jerk reaction. We got to change it immediately.
Yeah.
And I hated that because you're constantly chasing your tail of like, what do they want? What's going to please them? What makes them happy? And then you lose sight of like, I'm supposed to actually be having fun.
Right.
Entertaining the viewer, educating the viewer, to where it turned, and I wrote this in my post when I first got let go, it turned from me wanting to please the community to just wanting to please one person in that building, and that was the boss. And I had to figure out where that person lived at, so that whenever storms popped up right over their house, a big lightning bolt, we're on TV.
Holy shit.
Hey, we're breaking in the news coverage this morning because of the storms. Because if we weren't, we get our ass handed to us.
Yeah.
Well, I heard a loud lightning bolt at 3:33, and I was wondering where you were.
They said shit like that?
Yes.
That's fucked up, man.
I remember like one time,
elementary school.
one of my bosses saw the skies were getting dark. And so, there's a storm. You need to go on air. I was like, yeah, it's just a regular storm. It's not severe. But it's so dark out. You need to get on air and just say that. And I was like, but it's not severe.
Yeah.
In our protocol, we don't get on storm when it's not severe. Well, this looks severe to me.
Well, here.
Well, I'm the meteorologist, so who are we going to fucking listen to?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say that to my boss, right?
Yeah.
So you get on air and you're like, hey, everybody, thank you for joining me today on interrupting your golf.
And they
I
pick
was
that
trying
I'm
to,
one of the
yeah.
guys that gets pissed because
Yeah.
I'm watching the U.S. Open.
And then I got to be happy about it and do like a 5-minute fucking dance
Yeah.
because the boss wants you to be fucking on.
I'm trying
And
to
then
watch
you get
Pat
off and you
Sajak,
read these
damn it.
emails and you're like, yeah, fuck you too.
Yeah.
So do you think? Are
And then you leave work
Yeah.
so annoyed that the first thing you want to do is go drink.
I was just going to
Yeah.
ask you. This doesn't sound like anything that's conducive to like if you're already deep in a
Oh,
bottle
yeah.
a day. Well, no fucking wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah. no
Because
kidding.
well,
He's like,
you know,
I'll have another.
Besides my old man telling me don't knock anybody up until you're out of college or I'll kill you, he told me the key to happiness in life is love what you do and enjoy it. Again, if you start going to a job every day, I mean the anger, the resentment, like
I remember
it's just not conducive to a sober life.
Yeah. No, I remember like when it all happened, all of my friends at work who knew I had stopped drinking, they were like, I hope you haven't started drinking again. Like they were so worried about me. That was the thing they were concerned about. And I was actually in a good little stride at that point where I was like, I'm not even thinking about it. Because I had been going to the gym every single day. Even if I wasn't working out, I was still going.
Sure.
You know, just to move, just to get, motion. And I was in a pattern. So I had already developed this momentum of like journaling and feeling good. And I remember what it talked about being broke. You don't want to feel broke. Like I wanted to feel good. And I realized like I'm sleeping better.
Yeah.
My workouts are better. Like I'm losing weight. I got abs again. Like everything that I wanted in life that I just was kind of out of reach, it was there now. And one of my uncles came back to town a couple weeks ago. He's like, so are you dating anybody? You seen it? I was like, no. He's like, well, why not? And I was like, I don't know. And he goes, well, you have the time now. And when he said that, it was like a light bulb went on like, oh, yeah, I do have the time. Because for so many years, I had to go to bed at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and I just didn't go out on weekends. And so that just became my pattern. And so I was like, well,
that
shoot,
limits your
I
playing
guess I
field
could
a little bit.
do
Right?
stuff now.
Is that your famous uncle?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know who's
I
famous
hate
uncle
always
is?
saying that because I don't
Sterling
want
K. Brown?
people to feel like
Oh.
I need to say it to feel validated.
I know. I listen.
I had no idea that.
That's why I don't even say it. That's why
Yeah.
I have other family members, but yeah, that's
fucking
one of my
love.
Yeah.
Ashley doesn't know that.
She does it. She's gonna shit.
This Is Us. I'm working on my screenplay. Think Sopranos meets This Is Us.
Yes.
I love that how there's like 3 different stories going on, and it's a never-ending content. They could keep that show going on forever. Wish they would. Love me anymore.
Yeah.
Your uncle. That's incredible.
Yeah. So, I've come from a good background. I've had a lot of people around me that have done some wonderful things. Yeah. And I heard a couple years ago from one of my brothers at a funeral, and he just said, because it was 5 of us, I have stepbrothers, and he goes, we're the elders now. And I thought, the elders? I don't want to be an elder.
That's humbling.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you start thinking like people look
real.
up to you,
Right.
and you influence people, and like what you say actually affects people's lives, not just from like the weather standpoint, but like
And you're an
conversations
uncle,
like
I
this.
imagine, right?
Oh yeah, I got 19 nieces and nephews.
Jeez.
Like, just think how you were talking about an uncle said something to you. Now you're the guy that they're going to be. My uncle came to town and said.
For what it's worth, I knew you years before I knew who Sterling K. Brown was.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't. My mom doesn't. My mom's crush is not going. She is just gone way up.
No, but all of that stuff that I went through at Channel 5 and not only there, but in my personal life with giving up the drinking and still working through that. Has all been very humbling, because the thing that I'm learning now still to this day is that you're not your job. But I think adults, we hold that like that's who we are, like, and we kind of think we're like this thing. And I remember talking to you on the phone a couple of days ago about like I had to go to North City, I was in the inner hood, and I didn't feel comfortable, and I was telling us, like, I had this conversation with Jesus. I was like, oh, Jesus, why do I got to do this? Like, and it's like I heard this voice say, because, you were invited. And that's what Jesus did. He went where he was invited, right? He didn't just stay in Bethlehem. It wasn't like little town of Bethlehem. And he just grew up in Bethlehem forever and just lived there. He was out and traveling in the Sea of Galilee and that Nazareth. And he went on to be known from being Jesus of Nazareth, not even of Bethlehem. And so the thing I had to realize is, like, if you're going to enlarge your territory essentially, or get a bigger reach in your influence, you just can't stay in one same spot or where you're at. And that goes not just for physically, but mentally, emotionally. And I've grown so much in this last year, more than I probably have in the last 20 years. And not only from just emotionally, but like learning how to shoot. We were talking about cameras earlier, and learning how to edit and stuff and fly a drone. And I started playing golf and pickleball, like things I've never done before. And
you have an aura about you that there's not, and it sounds like it didn't hit you long, or if there was this, like, because it could be totally warranted and valid to go into this self-pity. I lost my job. What am I going to do? It sounds like you've embraced the blessing of it.
Well, I was ready.
Yeah, that by those reviews, and it sounds like.
And I've been sitting on things like I minored in theater, and I haven't done any acting. I haven't done any theater since I was an adult. Just one thing.
You were just talking about Wicked. So
it just rekindled
we just got back
that
from
flame.
Manhattan, and I got Ashley Wicked. It's her favorite, on Broadway.
Mine too.
Did you go, or did she?
No. So Caleb Miofsky went for me.
Nice.
So a good friend of mine, he's actually acting in Broadway. He's got a bunch of callbacks. He's working at Trader Joe's right now, but he was on a ship. He went to school for theater. He was on a ship in the Mediterranean, a cruise ship, doing a show. But he's always New York. I was like, this city's for you. And did I tell you this on the phone? His best friend is the lead on the new Bobby Darin. What's it fucking called? We look it up. It's Bobby Darin. I love Bobby Darin.
Yeah.
He's like Buddy Holly, but it's a new show on Broadway, and it was next door to where Wicked was. So had I known, I would have had a chance to meet Sadie, this blonde new lead, like was his best friend.
Oh, wow.
Came out and met Ashley and
just in time.
Yes, just in time. And
just
then
in time.
We were there for Thanksgiving. They had Just in Time played like during the parade, and while Sadie was in the parade, Caleb and his friends were at her apartment, like having breakfast and watching it, and they were having a big party, a big Thanksgiving together as friends that were, they all come from everywhere, all corners of the world.
Yeah.
So, and then Ashley, a good friend of mine, gave us tickets. Have you seen The Wiz yet?
I have not seen it on Broadway, but I did see it here.
This was here. This was in Fox.
And I was actually in The Wiz in high school.
Oh, in high school?
Yeah.
No shit.
I was a scarecrow.
Okay. So they went.
You singing all the parts?
Yeah.
So
Is that
Friday.
who Michael Jackson was in that? Yeah.
So Friday, I got tickets from a buddy, third row Fox tickets. Shout out to Steve.
Oh, nice.
And I stayed home with Charlie, and the girls went. And I was like, damn it. And then I was getting texts like, you would have loved this. And everybody says, you fucked up. I should have gone.
Yeah.
Charlie would have been fine home alone.
Yeah.
My favorite, and I played this at Underground. Have you seen Book of Mormon?
I have not.
That's a great musical. It's the only musical that I will say that I love. I'm not a musical guy. Well, maybe I am. I just don't know it. But it just, makes fun of the door knockers and the evangelicals evangelizing. And I played it in my sermon, if you want to call it that, at Underground, because I was saying what not to do to be invitational.
Yes.
I started with the scene from Friday where she said, Craig slams the door in the older women's face, the Jehovah's Witness, and he's like, well, fuck you then, you half-dead motherfucker. And then at the end, I played they played the opening song called Hello, and 90% of the people in there were singing it. They knew it. So, we do it a little different on Wednesday nights than we do on Sundays. But I didn't know you were in the theater. And so obviously, I guess, with your uncle.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually in the theater, not to say before he was, but because he was older, but he was doing his own thing. And then I was in high school, and so I'm like learning, like, oh, I think I like theater. And I did a few plays, and then my grandma would take me up to New York to go see him at NYU grad school.
Okay.
That he was in. At some of his plays. And so then I was like, ooh, I love that. And then I come back and I'm like, we're going to do some more plays. And so it definitely kept a fire going through high school. But I had that same passion to do it. And I just didn't pursue it.
The cousin I got
Is he
kicked
your
out.
dad's brother?
Yeah.
The cousin I got kicked out of the Ameristar for went to NYU. She's I was actually at her house for Thanksgiving in Montclair. And when you were talking about San Francisco, I always think about her because they grew up on Staten Island, family Staten Island, went to NYU, and then met Ben, her husband. They had kids. They had one kid in Brooklyn. They had a nice place in Brooklyn. And then by the time the second kid, they're like, we got to get to New Jersey. So they're in Montclair. Beautiful area, really close to the city. But Brooklyn is now like
A little more affordable.
You just can't imagine have kids in, like you were saying, a skyrise in San Francisco. That is not cheap.
Yeah, no, at all.
And kids eat every day. They're expensive.
Yeah.
Hey, I was in Footloose the musical.
Were you?
Nice.
I was the preacher.
Yeah.
The
I never
dad.
got the call back. You have this aura that there's no regrets. How's the drinking?
Pretty good. So I've realized when it starts getting out of control is when I just need to pull back.
Okay.
Because I think, and you probably know this just as well, being in the church and preaching and teaching, the flesh will do anything you let it do, right? It'll go as crazy as you allow it to. And I remember always growing up like, what is the flesh? Why do people call it the flesh? But I think it's just, our human instinct are the things that we like, right? I mean, like we just had Thanksgiving, and like you can only eat so much pecan pie before you're like, I need to put this down.
Sure.
Right. I think we
Moderation
know
is my
ourselves,
enemy.
right?
Yeah.
And it's not just with drinking; it's with everything. With eating red meat for me.
Well, you said it earlier with the kids. These
phone,
the screens, right?
porn, sweets. There's so many things you can be addicted to these days. And
Caffeine.
And you look at how companies push it on us. Advertisements and stuff. I mean, the thing that's very complicated about life is that there are two realms that exist at the same time.
Okay.
Like you've got the physical realm and then the spiritual realm. And like only about maybe 20%, maybe 30% believe the spiritual realm exists, right? When you start talking like this, I mean, they're like, oh, he's talking crazy now. But
What's he
it's
smoking
the truth,
now?
right?
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
And so you have physical battles that you go through, but then you also have like a spiritual warfare that's happening. And I think what happens is when you start indulging in the flesh more, your human instinct more and more, that warfare that's happening, that's taking place, the good or the evil, however you want to look at it, devil or God, there's definitely something going on, I think, in the cosmos. Because I think you can see it better when you look back on instances. You can't always see it when you're looking at it from the moment. So I'll give you the example of when I lost my job, April. Stopped drinking in like December, January. But if I had to continue on those same patterns, I probably wouldn't be in this place that I'm in now today. Because I launched I launched a business, t-shirt business.
I definitely want to get into what you're up to.
And then I've got some cooking that I'm going to be bringing to St. Louis Portuguese food.
Red beans and rice, baby. I can't wait.
Yeah. And so I've had all these ventures. You know, I'm working on a couple books, you know, autobiography, but like also some kids series books on the water cycle. And so just exploring all the things that I've wanted to. I'm like a think tank.
Yeah,
you know, and I just I've had ideas for a long time of things I've wanted to do for many, many years, not just like in recent years, but to have the ability to do it now and the freedom to explore it fully.
Sure.
That's the best part, because now I'm like, I can fully, if I want to cook something, I can make it and create a menu, and then, you know, people will come, or make T-shirts and, you know, see how that does. And the thing that I remember saying when I was in the business is that if I get out of it, it's going to be hard to, you know, get back in. But I also had that other regret of, well, if I don't ever try this, I'm always going to think about what if. And I remember when my dad was about this age, 40-something years old, he had lost his job. He was a sales rep, pharmaceutical sales rep. And he can cook some really good barbecue. I mean, the man can throw down. Okay. We would go to church, and they'd be like, we want you to cook again.
None of us have eaten
and
today
he can throw
You're
down.
Killing me, right?
But he wanted to do a barbecue joint, and he put it off. And he's like, I can't, my back hurts. So he's kept in corporate America, right? Now he's a regional sales manager. But now that I'm in this same position, I've had conversations with him where I'm like, I'm at that crossroad that you were at, and I'm choosing this other way. Like, I'm done with business and corporate America. Like, every time I start thinking about, well, could I go back to it? I just start thinking about all of the things you have to do. Like, all the responsibilities, like, and you're not doing any of it for you. You know, you're just doing it for the company. And I just got so tired of what I call fake smiling. Mm-hmm. You know, just like, how you doing? Good to see you.
It's a mask,
just
man.
Like, fuck
it's a
you.
fucking
Like,
mask.
I don't care how you feeling.
Right.
And then they tell you about their life, and you're like, I really just was trying to go get coffee. You know, but like, to be in that space now where I can say those things to people without having someone be like, oh, well, he went to HR because he doesn't like me. I literally had somebody go to HR because they thought I did not like them. Oh. And I was like, it's not in my job description to like you, bro.
Yeah.
And it was a dude at that. Like, come on. Like, seriously? You're that sensitive?
Chill out.
Oh, my God. An older person. Like, get a life. So, you know, I think for me, the free headspace is the most important thing. Like, we were talking about the spiritual warfare. Because now I don't have that, you know, the feeling, right, when you wake up from drinking too much, the guilt, the shame,
right?
The what did I say? Who did I embarrass? Who did I text? What did I text? You know,
and you're not drinking it for the wrong reasons. It sounds like. I mean, when you're drinking because you're pissed off and you fucking hate your job, and I'm not saying those are all your reasons.
But I've definitely had to stop drinking like the heavy liquor.
Yeah,
like if I drink something,
I was going to ask.
I'll have maybe wine with the dinner, but if I'm like killing the whole bottle, I'm like, bro, you just.
That's when you need to call
bottle.
Chris.
Like, okay,
give me a call. It's just, I mean. Remember where it got you, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a for my particular alcoholism, it's complete abstinence because the thought of having one, like I just know I can't. Like I like one glass of wine.
I want to get there, and I know I will.
Yeah, of course, man.
Because like this was my first year, and
Sure.
I mean like since I turned 21, I was like. I grew up at church every night. We went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Really?
So I'm going to have a drink. And I might drink until I pass out. You know?
It's a lot of church, Jeff.
Yeah,
it's a little
oh my
bit.
God. I could tell you every story in the Bible. I could tell you about books that aren't even in the Bible.
I worked on staff in churches for 15 years, and I wasn't in church that much.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, what I hear and what I see in your face is this, like you enjoyed not being fucking depressed and hungover so much that it's enough of a deterrent.
Well, and getting fat too. I remember one time looking in the mirror, I was like 6 months pregnant. And like my dad was like telling me like,
Jeff,
I know,
like,
listen to this guy.
When you got family telling you like,
Anthony brought me a T-shirt. He goes, I got you a large. Motherfucker. Thanks.
I was like, he's like, I'm an extra large. I'm like, well, you don't want to get the extra large. He's like, I'm a medium.
So, I mean, if you're going to it's not, you can't do both. You can't drink a bottle of whiskey a day and then go to the gym. It's just not, your body's not going to let you have
the
it.
The great thing about going to the gym too is I don't know how the brain does it. I'm not that smart, but like I feel so much better when I leave. Like all that fake smiling shit. I'm like, hey, how's it going? And people are like, why are you so happy? But it's, I don't know why. I just went to the gym and I just like killed myself for an hour, but I feel better.
That's real smiling.
Yeah. and I can get stuff done now. So like when I leave the gym, I can go to the grocery store and talk to people that I really wouldn't probably want to talk to if I had just woke up and was like, ugh, fuck, get out of my face.
Yeah.
But I'm like, hey, how you? And they see this person and they're like, oh, he seems really happy. And like a lot of what you said earlier about feeling sorry and being pity party, that's what I've heard the most in the last few months. Oh, I'm so sorry for how you. Oh, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, I'm great.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be a fake great, right?
No.
I want this to
Right.
be the real me. Like, this is me, right? And if it sucks one day and I want to be pissed off, like, then I'll be pissed off. Because I hate those people that are like, you can make every day a great day. I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Seems like you only the only acting you want to do is if it's for fun
On stage
theater,
or on
right.
TV.
You don't,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
want to have to go to your fucking job and act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or somebody.
And
or
the
not.
thing about that, too, like, I don't want to make this whole conversation about that, but, like, I used to have to be, like, on 10. Like, when you see people on the news and they seem, like, really chipper and happy, in person, they're, like, on cocaine.
Bingo. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And so you have to be, like,
It's like manic.
really excited about everything,
Yeah.
even if you're not excited about it on the inside, you know? And, like, when the commercial comes on, then you can just be like, ooh, shit. I'm feeling. We got through that block, you know?
Did you ever have an accidental mic slip at all while you were?
Oh,
while
all the
you were
time.
there?
All the time. I'm surprised I didn't get fired for
that.
accidental mic slips because we used to talk some shit.
Really? Dump button.
Yeah. Or like even you know how sometimes they'll go to a package and they're like, here's Alice Barr reporting,
Yeah.
right? And then it's like, what really happened in that small Augusta town, right? And we'll start talking shit like, why she talk like that? Look at her face. What's wrong with her? And sometimes we would think like, you know, something didn't air in the package, but it would just be a still, you know, like, and then the sun came up, and you're like, "Oh, okay, this is still going."
Yeah.
But you thought they might have dipped out of the package. It came back to you. You're on TV, you know. So you kind of
Oh shit.
straighten up for a second. You're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, it's cool, it's cool."
Yeah.
And like our directors and producers would know that we're talking shit, and so they'd be like, "We got 30 seconds back, guys."
All
30,
right.
and we're all right. We're gonna straighten up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you that story later.
I feel like I would never talk if that were me. I'm like, no, I don't want to get caught.
Well, and then
saying
the
something.
crazy thing is because you're so just off the cuff, you become very comfortable with the people you're with every day.
Right.
You start saying crazy shit like, I don't know what they were thinking when
Yeah.
they put that outfit on today.
Right.
You know, and they're like, damn, like, but that's your friend who's just reporting. And you're
Yeah.
like, girl. And so I would try to make a moment like, girl, you look like that person in the there was one time I
Yeah.
sent Sydney Stallworth had on this pink dress, and I sent her a meme. I said, you reminded me of somebody. I couldn't figure out who it was, and I tagged her on Twitter, and I said, it's this girl from Napoleon Dynamite. Remember the pink girl with the pink dress?
Oh boy.
And she was like, I do not. And she's like, and she came back to her, and I just want to say something to Anthony Slaughter.
Oh, nice, nice.
So, but it's being able to create those fun moments, right?
Right.
I don't hate you. I'm picking on you because this is what other people probably thought.
Yeah.
And then you can make a moment. Your name
it's
goes
endearing,
up, right?
man. That's endearing.
Those
shit.
moments, dude, are so important.
And that's what people will feel a part of their fucking group.
And I used to tell our managers and even people that I would work with, it's the moments that people remember.
Yeah.
It's not the 3 people who got shot, the 5 people who got ran over, the 6 people who got rescued from
No.
the
That's
house.
right.
They don't care about that shit. If it wasn't their house, they don't care.
No.
If it's not in the neighborhood, they don't care.
Yeah.
And
Just
so,
the
like,
way
if
it
we're
is.
Do you remember
reporting on shootings every night in, like, you know, Wellston, like, well, it's not my neighborhood. I don't care.
Right.
But, like, we can make a moment out of something. So let's find something we can make a moment out of.
and that's going to keep people coming
And
back
I'm
to
telling you what, it resonated for like 6 months. Because remember, we just don't let things live.
Right.
Yeah.
And they would start putting in the script. So, like, talk. Here's the script. Moment. Because they wanted more moments. But they didn't know how to create them with people who just read scripts.
Right.
I was like, you got to give people the freedom to be able to do stuff. Like,
Yeah.
we just can't be tethered to a script and the video.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things I used to always tell them, and I don't know if it ever they just didn't care, too many, not enough resources. But Good Morning America they'd still do it in today's show.
Okay,
The
today's show.
national ones. They
Yeah,
do
yeah.
stuff. They'll have like, it's National Golf Day, and they'll all be trying to hit a hole in one.
Sure,
Right?
sure.
And they'll do it from the commercial break in. Boom! Hey, welcome back. We're just trying to hit a
Savannah's
hole
got a
in
club,
one, right?
yeah.
And they'll be having fun, and then they'll do the story, right? Interview the person, and then let's go back to the plaza. All right, we're out here having fun, but we got a concert
Ashley
coming up,
loves
right?
Savannah.
And so it's those moments, like you said, that people are remembering. But for some reason, it doesn't translate. Like local news, like we need more stories. We're focused on story count.
That's
and
bullshit.
click points, and I'm like, this is why you don't have people
Let's
watching.
see you all, golfing and fucking
This is why
around and being
nobody's
real.
Yeah, and that's the shit. I mean, literally,
would
that
watch
is what
that.
people. You put it on TikTok, boom, you go viral. But they're scared to do that kind of stuff because they want to seem authoritative.
Yeah.
They want to seem, in charge. We're the people you listen to. Like,
Do you know the Channel 4 people?
I know some of them.
All right.
Yeah.
Steve Templeton would come and did a presentation at Charlie's school, and I've seen him up at O&O at Alvin Oak before, and we'll always say when the sleeves roll up, shit's getting it's getting serious. Weather's getting serious. And
What was
then
that? Yeah, go ahead.
Doug Vaughn, who was at Channel 4 forever, a sports guy, who's on the radio show we listen to. We always would say chirp him a little bit, but. It becomes a thing, and then I would watch Channel 4 because of my stories. I remember Paige Halsey's on there. She's easy on the eyes. But,
What was that girl's name that she did I think she did weather also at KSDK, then moved to Nashville. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Bree Smith.
I love Bree Smith, man.
Yeah, she's a great person.
Was she? I think that was the era where we first started watching you on there too. Were you guys there at the same time?
She came in right. So I was leaving and she was coming in.
Got you.
So it was like, we need another person.
Well,
so
maybe
like,
we did stick to.
So Anthony, you're I would say real sober curious.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
How's the and you don't have to answer this, but I mean, you smoke a little bit. I mean, I know that's a whole different thing. People, it's legal, and
yeah,
I
it's weird. So like, I feel like everybody smokes pot now, right?
I think my stance, if weed, pot keeps you from drinking a bottle a day or putting a fucking needle of heroin in your veins, then go for it. What I get worried about is the cycle that are people like, oh, I'm not as anxious and I'm not depressed when I'm smoking weed. Well, because you're high. And when you get unhigh, you get anxious and depressed, you get high again. Like that's a bad cycle.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know if you can even call it professional opinion, just being in this. Well,
it's back to addiction, right?
Right. And that's bingo.
Yeah.
So if that's the type, and I always, if somebody's chemotherapy is easier on them because they can smoke weed, then I will roll the joints for you. Right.
Well, it's funny when I was in the hospital for the gastritis. Yeah. So they were coming in. They were like, "Are you having any withdrawal symptoms?" And I was like, "I don't think so." They're like, "Let's see your hand." I was like, I was trying to see if it was shaking. I was like, "I think I'm good." And in my head, I kept thinking, if I'm going to have a withdrawal from anything, it's going to be from smoking a joint because I'm stuck in this fucking hospital for 3 days, It wasn't alcohol. I could do without that. But I remember, like, when I had to, like, do drug tests and stuff, and I was like, oh, I got to fucking stop smoking for 30 days. And,
right.
College and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was the hardest part for me, like, actually proving to myself that I don't need it. Because it was like, I felt like I always did need it. And then when I would stop, there was always... when I would start back again, this sinking feeling of like, damn, I did this like nonstop for so many years, just being like walking through life high.
Yeah.
And with everything, like moderation. And I think when you get to the point where you just can't live without it, you got to pump the brakes.
That's time to really look inward.
Because then you start thinking like, I always think about like, what happens if like I get in the hospital again and I'm there for like 2 months? I'm like, I would freak out, right? I'm like, I can't go that long without having something. But I've listened to a lot of people on TikTok, Instagram. You'll like a post about sobriety, and boom, you see another one.
Oh yeah,
and
they're listening right now.
My phone is loaded up when I get it back on it. And one of the things I would see was when people would say like, I actually had to start dealing with my problems. Right? Like, what is the thing that's making you do that? Like, what is the problem? What is the issue?
Bingo. And
I think for me, for many, many years, was having to be just so perfect. Like, not just on TV, but growing up too. Like I mentioned at the top of this conversation, my sexuality. That's not something that's very accepted in the church, especially the black church.
Yeah, you're right.
And coming to terms with that was hard. I think harder than giving up alcohol. I spent my whole life struggling with that. And it wasn't a struggle of just like, oh, I'm queer in here and, here we are forever. But it was like, you're an abomination. Like, how do you deal with those words being said to you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
As a child.
It's fucking
and you're like, well, I don't know how to change that. And I remember my whole life growing up thinking,
you can't change your skin color.
Because people would say like, oh, just keep praying about it, baby. Or you got to do
Pray
it when
the
he's
gay
ready.
out of you.
Just hit when he's ready. In God's perfect timing. Think about the woman with the issue of blood, right? They would always compare it to things. And when I started actually researching the Bible, I was quite amazed at what I was finding. that Jesus was not bashing gay people. He wasn't telling you needed to change. In fact, there was a person that he met that was gay that people don't even look into, a centurion that people will say, oh, that was a soldier. But a lot of those soldiers were gay soldiers, and they were the ones that were guarding the princess in the castle. And they would choose them because they're gay. And then they'd castrate them because, they don't want any problems.
Yeah.
But in one of the sermons, Jesus turns to the crowd and he says, I wish all of you could have faith like this man. And he was like, I want you to come to my house and heal. And he said, well, you don't even need to come to the house. Just because I hear and talked with you, I believe that he's healed. But he was basically saying his lover at home was sick. Like if you were to translate it into modern terms.
Interesting, yeah.
Even King David was thought to have been bisexual with Jonathan, the son of Saul. So
because David,
Saul wanted to kill him. And
right.
Jonathan was like, let me help you and get out of here. And there's a scripture where it says they kissed. And when you look at that scripture, people will probably twist and say, "Oh, that was a godly kiss."
No, it wasn't.
Because they explained in the Bible. They explained how it does more passionately than a woman. That's how it's described. Yes. And so when people, I have so many family members that believe one thing, and I'm fine with the way they believe, and it's not meant for me to change them. But I had to educate myself. I had to educate myself because what it led to, I think suicide and depression. Those are their own demons and their own beasts. But when you can overcome that, you can overcome anything. Yeah. And I had to overcome that when I was about 15 or 16 years old.
Yeah.
And I remember just being in those darkening place. Yeah. And I was called a faggot my whole life.
Jesus.
From random people at school and, you gay and you sissy boy. And I remember when I got to college and there were all these girls and they're like, hey. And I'm like, hey. And I'm like, no one can tell. Everyone just all of a sudden thought I was straight. And I don't know how it happened or what. Maybe because I grew a beard.
Or did you have a beard, a girlfriend?
I don't have a beard, a girlfriend.
You're like my friend's
It
Indian
was just
Ben.
so weird. It was like all of a sudden everyone was like, let me hook up with this beautiful girl at church. And I'm like, wow, so just no one can see it anymore? And so then, you go to this place where everybody's like, well, I'm coming out. And it's like, well, how do you come out? What are you coming out of? Because I never felt like I needed to come out.
Really?
For me, it was like, stay in.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You don't want to have to deal with that. And I remember thinking as a kid, I could never see myself married to a man. I struggled with that idea. I don't think my family would come to the wedding. I don't think they would support me. I don't think they would visit me.
You're told you're an abomination. No fucking
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
wonder.
And as a kid. And so I was just like, well, I'll just keep trying to be straight and, keep trying to fit into this mold. And so when I got to college, I actually studied, I had a semester where I studied religious studies. I did history of Christianity, origins of religion, and Native American religions all in the same semester.
Wow.
And it was the greatest thing because I could, compare my notes. And one of the things that I found very fascinating, which I'm not going to get into, but Mother Earth, Native Americans, they were they were the only religion that their deity was a woman. Every other man-made religion, that God is a man, or thought to be, or talked about like a man. And so I started seeing there are some discrepancies here, and then you start reading about Buddhism and Islam, and I was like, well, they don't even believe in Jesus, and they're like the bigger religion on earth. And so then I had this book called The Children Are Free. And I remember I got this book when I was 16 years old. I didn't read it till college. But in the book, it talks about all of the quote-unquote gay bashing scriptures.
Right.
And it basically lets you decide for yourself. It gives you the historical context behind it, putting you in that specific time to help you understand it better. The Leviticus script, Leviticus scripture.
It also tells people to cut their fucking hands off.
And go to the wood, just flee to the hills when you're on your period, and
sell
don't
your
eat
fucking
pork.
daughter to.
Yeah.
Leviticus is bullshit.
But it was all a set of rules for that time, right?
Right.
For just that moment in time. It wasn't like this is what needs to be forever, but those people in that moment in time needed that. I think same with the 10 Commandments, I think for those moments in time, if people read it like a history book, they could understand it better. And I think that helped me understand God better, because it wasn't just God is this angry person who's ready to send you to hell, which in Pentecostal churches, that's how it's preached, fire and brimstone. And so as I got older,
It's Catholic bullshit too. With
I started realizing there are so many different kinds of people. So many people had different beliefs. Surely that this one thing, it's not just singled out. Like, I'm not just this is not this one thing that's going to send, millions of people to hell, right? And when I was comparing those notes in the scriptures, I was finding that the word homosexual doesn't even exist in Arabic and Hebrew.
Right.
So how is it even in the Bible? And so there were these moments where my eyes were illuminated. Like, I got to find out, and I would dig deeper. And so there were so many different moments in that semester where I just remember having like these aha moments. And the moment that did it for me, I had been going to the tanning bed because I just started coming on TV. And so I was like, I got to be darker. I don't look black enough because I'm half black and I need people to see my blackness.
That's funny.
But as a mixed person, it's just a thing you deal with. Like, you're not white enough, you're not black enough. Like, my white friends are like, oh, your skin tone is so nice and olive.
I don't know. I might get in trouble for saying this, but I think mixed is like going to be the super race. They're the most beautiful fucking people in the world.
Yeah, everybody's mixed.
You know what I mean?
Kids now.
I mean, like, trust me, I get I'm half Sicilian. My Sicilian grandma would insult in her kindest way my mother, who's Irish, saying, well, he has your fair skin. But I didn't get that like olive tone. I'm so pissed about it.
A little bit in there. It's winter time.
Yeah, right.
But I had just come back from the tanning bed, and I was in the bathroom mirror. I even remember the place I was living at because this was so profound to me. Like, when you hear voices in your head that I think empower you, I think you got to lean into that. Because a lot of times people say, oh, I hear these negative voices, but sometimes you hear a powerful positive voice.
Sure.
And sometimes I attribute that to being God. I don't know if it is, but I will say it is in the story. Well, I was talking to myself, looking in the mirror, and I was like, why can't I get any darker? Because I was kind of like, oh, looking at my skin, like I'm just turning redder, I'm not getting brown. And I heard a voice, and it said, because I didn't make you that way.
Yeah.
And I stood in the mirror for about 20 minutes looking at myself like, whoa. Like, I have brown eyes. I'm going to die with brown eyes. Like, I'm left-handed. I'm going to die left-handed. Like, the type of music I like to listen to, though it may change a little bit through the genres, that's the type of, I love drums and guitars and, heavy metal, like, right, the drum, stuff. The things that I like, the way I like to dress, how charismatic I am with my hands, like, every single thing about me in that moment just fell into place. Like, it was like, it just made sense. And I was like, oh.
This is fucking good.
Yeah.
Man. And like, you didn't go to a store and say, I'm going to like this. I'm going to like this. I'm going to choose to like this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, get the fuck out of here.
And I remember driving to work that evening because I worked at the dining hall, pay a little gas money I needed to, because it was like 6 o'clock in the evening. I got to get to work. And I'm driving, and I remember looking at the sunset thinking, wow, the sunset even looks different. And it was in that moment when I realized, like, I've been set free. But it's not a freedom that people think of. They think like, oh, you set free, you've been delivered from being gay, right?
No.
The set free was the religion that I had been taught for so many years. It was unraveled finally. I had been, we put up so many defenses. I had to ask ChatGPT the other day, like, why do I get depressed over not being successful? And it gave me this really elaborate thing, but it was because I've been taught to be perfect my whole life. Like, I've got to live up to this standard of not being an abomination. That's right. I've got to overcome. So I got to get straight A's. I got to be the president. I got to be this, and I got to be that, and I got to show all my accolades so that you don't look at this. And that's basically what I had built up through my high school and college years. So then when I got to San Francisco, I was like, hey, honey. But that's why now, I don't know, people may not know, or, it seems ambiguous, but I just have a freedom when it comes to that. Like, I don't feel ashamed talking about it because it was a dark time. That was a darker time for me than overcoming alcohol and weed and any other kind of addiction. Because that's essentially who you are. You wake up and you breathe, and that's who you are.
Well, you said that earlier, and I'm like, is this a breaking news story here?
Yeah, probably.
I didn't know.
Because I don't talk about it very often.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't have a reason to talk about it, I don't talk about it.
About his sexuality?
Yeah. I appreciate you being honest about it here and vulnerable here. That's really cool. There's a documentary I haven't checked out that I want to, though. It's called 1946. Have you ever heard of this? It's 1946. I pulled it up. The mistranslation that shifted culture, and it's all about the first time the word homosexual appeared in Christian scriptures, English scriptures, is in 1946.
Interesting.
So
that's a fucking.
Isn't that crazy? It wasn't there until 1946, which is not that long.
And all these
ago.
new translations. I mean, and when you really start digging and you find out, like, who King James was.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
And he wrote this Bible?
Yeah.
Like, he published it? Like, how did he, why is his name on it?
So,
in all the...
I got to give a shout out to Miofsky, the church I like.
Yes.
And been on the I would say, in St. Louis Bible Belt bullshit culture, the front line of this shit. And his, to this day, like that Birds and the Bees and the Bible sermon he gave has got millions of views on YouTube. I mean, he kind of debunks the 5 places in the Bible that it talks shit. And I remember the one, like, it was, I think, you know, I might be fucking this up, but Mark was talking to the Romans who were off at war, and they're, you know, when they go to war, then it's for years and decades while the wives are back home with the kids, and they start sleeping with younger soldiers, boy soldiers that are even at like too young. And so that's why he's saying what he's saying, that this is not holy. You cannot sleep with young boys that are not of age, and you have wives at home, and so it's not, has nothing to do with it was preaching like be faithful to your wife, or to and don't abuse boys. Like, it wasn't, don't,
well, you know what's crazy,
something like that. It wasn't, don't be gay.
Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Old Testament, got burned down by the city. Lot, his wife, she turned into a pillar of salt, right? They leave a couple people out of this story that's very important.
Sure.
His daughters,
Right.
that he goes on to have sex with after he flees Sodom and Gomorrah. And I remember when I was like 16 years old, I asked my parents, I was like, how is that okay?
Right.
But like, this whole city of gay people are going to burn, like, and they go, well, this is just the time it was, and that's what was happening. But they use that same, you could say the same thing for gay people. That was just the time it was, right? And so that story in itself, like, if you dig deeper, really didn't even have anything to do with quote unquote gay people. Because if you look at the Bible, it is very specific when it says the word all and none. Those words pop out when it's like for real. Like, God is saying all or none. Like, it's not like some. So whenever he says all, like, I can do all things through Christ, right? He's not, you do some things, you do most things. It's all.
All, yeah.
And so in that story, Sodom and Gomorrah, it said all the men of the city came to Lot's house. All. Not some, not a few. Not the gay ones, not the straight ones, but all.
All of them.
And if you statistically had to say, okay, what's the gayest city in America? Right? San Francisco, Provincetown. All the men there aren't gay, but maybe 90%, 80%, right?
Not all.
Exactly, not all. So the story wasn't about gay. It was about something else. Like you said, that malicious lust that can get inside of people that makes them want things that they shouldn't, right? Like little boys or little girls. And that's what that story was about, that people don't even look at. They just hear what the preacher says, and they, okay, that's right. And they don't, and nobody really ever takes the time to study and examine the Bible. I mean, and I think it's in the New Testament, Timothy, where it says you have to study to show yourself approved. And that's the only reason I'm confident enough to say the things that I'm saying. Well, because for many years, it was something that I could never even believe. I had a couple cousins, a couple aunts that were gay and different things, and I talked to them, but I never thought for my own self that I could be comfortable with it. Because at the time, 15, 16, all I could see was just the end. Like, I just want this to be over, like, to be done. Like, I don't want to have to go through life. Like, why can't I just be like a straight person and not have any problems, right? That was kind of the thing I thought. But I found, and I know that straight people have problems. I'm just saying that's how I thought. But I found as I went through those things, spiritually, I became mature. And I find people that I went to high school and college with now that are on my level. And I'm like, damn, I was trying to tell y'all when y'all were 16. Nobody want to listen. Now everybody's saved.
Right. Yeah.
You know? Fuck. So it's crazy to see, people go through their journey too. But I just remember for so many years, it was just a dark time for me, and I was depressed. And I'm a very happy person now. I'm very
you really get.
silly.
I mean, I'm telling you, to use a younger person's word, I'm getting those vibes from you that you're happier and you're.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Maybe, and I didn't know you until really today, but maybe coming out of a time that wasn't the happiest, going to work eating shit on type of life.
Yeah, those are small potatoes at this point.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, you're fucking glowing, man. And I'll tell you, like I told Ashley about Andy and Ben, two of my best buddies that were the best looking guys at our church. Thank God they're married to each other, because I would had no fucking chance if a guy like you were straight, Anthony. With anybody.
I'm still all your women.
Right. You know what I mean? Fuck. That's what I remember. Those guys, we were at Alamanoka. It's my family restaurant. We were there, and Anthony and Ben came in, and Molly, the manager, came to me. He's like, who's the fucking tall guy that just walked in? I go, sorry, honey. they're together. She's like, fuck, all the good ones are.
Well, my wife even sent me this text. She goes, "Tell him he was the only good part of KSDK, and I love following him on Facebook now for my weather, and tell him that I love him."
There you go.
And then she gave you the heart thing.
Oh, nice.
So I can't thank you enough for all of this, and I really hope to stay in touch, man. You're going to take off like a rocket ship, so don't forget the little guys. But what are you doing now? You said you have a T-shirt. I mean, is this something that this is a sick fucking sweatshirt? I'm a crew neck guy.
This is the brand that I made, Sky Weather. WX stands for weather in the news world.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And so I just abbreviated. Plus, I thought like I want something to look cool on a shirt. Like people will put words that aren't even words on shirts, and so I was like, the WX to me looked better than weather. Like
Sure.
Sky Weather.
Yeah.
Like the X just gave a little bit extra to it. The design I used Canva and a company called Design.com. You can like make your own essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I made that, and then the slogan "Beyond the Storm," which is obviously like the storms of life. Like the
Man,
things
that's
you go through,
that's
right?
spiritual. That is spiritual.
And so like I know it's gonna eventually catch on. Like it's still new. Like people don't know about it, but
Your Serenity
the whole
Prayer is
thing-
all about the storm, within the storm. Yeah, so I love that.
And like if God doesn't calm the storm, sometimes he'll calm you in the storm, right? And so it's not always like what we want and what we get.
Sure.
But the storms are going to be there, and you got to find a way to get through them. And a lot of times,
Can't go around them, right?
you can rise
Yeah.
above them. And so that's kind of the idea behind it. And I remember I talked to ChatGPT a lot, and I was like, I need a little bit more, for describing the content to these people online, because you see a hoodie or a shirt, and you say, okay, whatever. And one of the things ChatGPT spit back to me was people don't buy merchandise; they buy attitude. And so tapping into the attitude
Fucking AI is smart,
behind,
right?
oh my God, it's genius. If you're not using it in any capacity, anybody
gotta build
listening,
some
you just
data
got
centers with
to
it,
just
yeah.
figure it out. But that's like that's so real. Like there is an attitude behind what I've created. And so just helping people understand, why it exists. Even the shirt that I brought you guys, I had to get different sizes. Say spread the love on them.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
And that's kind of like the motto. I
Those
feel
are
like
fine.
in
I'll
life.
give that to Ash.
Yeah, I'll give mine to my wife.
Yeah.
But
And then we'll buy one. We'll buy some of our
That's
own
right.
sizes.
Right
yeah,
on,
so we can
right
support you, brother.
But that's kind of the theme I feel in life, What was the bottom line? And we were talking about it on the phone, and it was just to love your neighbor, right? I mean, just if we could fucking figure that one simple thing out, I think
It's not like
everything
a-
else would be so much easier.
Kind
in
of
life.
like the billboards you were getting. Like he just says it. It's the command is a simple, it's not difficult to understand.
Yeah, it's like, can you translate that?
Right. No, it's right there.
It's
Just
like love. That wasn't 1963.
stop being a fucking asshole.
There you go. Yeah, and that's simple, right? And we still can't figure that out. And this was the first shirt that I created. It was actually an accident how I created it. I just had one line with a heart, the heart of gold on there. And I didn't like it. And I accidentally copy-pasted. I don't know how. I must have just hit the computer the right way. And
Right.
It jumped down, and I said, that kind of looks... It was all gray.
Nice.
And I copy-pasted it again, and it was like, well, I'll just create a few lines of this and see how that looks. Yeah. And then I was like, well, I need a color. What color should I make this? And I immediately thought about my years of struggle. Right? Like, why do you want to spread the love the way you want to now? And it's because God's love, and it's not just a human love. It's a love that surpasses,
Transcends, man.
and it transforms you too.
Amen.
I've experienced God's love for many years, not only through him or her, but through my family and friends. Like I believe God places people in your life, that cross your path. And I had so many people that crossed my path at the right time where it was like, I needed this, and I think it shifted the course of my life. I remember having a dream when I wanted to go to college. And in my dream, I saw myself in Florida because I went to go to Florida. And I had tattoos and piercings. It looked kind of cool, but I remember when I woke up, I was like, I don't want to be that person. And I had prayed and asked God where I should go to college. And that next day, I got an application from Mizzou. And I was like, well, I guess I'll just apply. And then I got accepted. So to me, the bottom line in life is just spreading love, right? And it doesn't matter what you believe or how you act or who you sleep with, but like it's just love. And I think especially for people who need it more than anybody, the rebels, the folks left out, the addicts, the recovery, the foster children, the people that aren't thought about.
Right.
Those are the ones that need the most love. The ones that society's kind of turned their face on. I remember talking on the phone, like, it should be the church that people go to to get recovery and addiction help, but they don't. They don't get that help there. And it's not because it's not a system set up. It's just because we are programmed for some reason to like make fun of these people and to shun them and to turn our back on them, or I can't look at them or hang out with them. Like, I have so many religious and I say religious, not spiritual, family members that only go to church.
Right. Yeah.
Like, they don't know how to reach outside of the church walls. And I remember when I was a young kid going through all that depressed stuff, thinking like, my ministry is not going to be in the church. My ministry is going to be outside of the church. Like, I know folks in the church are fucked up.
And that's John Wesley shit, the Methodist,
it's
the founder
a lot
of
of people that aren't in the church, that aren't going anywhere near a church. Those are the people that need to be reached. And I was like, that's going to be my mission, because I was one of those people once upon a time.
Amen. And people that want to, like, they go to their Sunday service or whatever, they want those doors closed for the people that look like them and
dress like them. Yeah.
They don't.
And that was the one thing that I didn't like about growing up Pentecostal, is because, like, if the Holy Spirit told me something, then surely it had to have told you. And why aren't you listening?
Right.
And it was like, well, I'm a different person.
Right.
I have different thoughts and different beliefs, right? And you are allowed to have that. And that's the thing I love about seeing different churches. Like, I remember, so I don't know if you guys know Creflo Dollar.
Yeah.
It's a black multi-million-dollar preacher.
Yeah,
but
I do.
Mega church. Been around for many years. And it's funny, his last name's Dollar.
Yeah.
But my grandma loves him. She listens to him all the time.
Okay.
And he said something on one of his sermons a couple months ago that kind of made me look up. And I was like, whoa, I like you. But I'd never really paid attention. He's like background noise. And he said, you don't go to hell because of what you do. Right? And I think that's what's been preached. You go to hell, which I don't even know if you go to hell. That's out. The verdict's out on that in my mind.
Sure, mine too.
But I think what he said is it's your unbelief. But how many times does that unbelief come up when it comes to, can you get through this addiction? Can you break this habit? Can you overcome this stronghold? And I think that's the part in life that, is stronger than just, I believe in God. But do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in the power in you? Because it took me,
You're worth it. I hear you saying, like, you are worth it.
Yeah,
you
but
are worth.
You're worth it. And when you get out of it, the way you're going to feel is so much better. And I think, we can get inundated with feelings so much. Like, I feel this way, I'm going to do this. I feel this way, I'm going to do this. But when you can, again, rise above those feelings into something more substantial like your faith, I think that's when your life really, that's like the real magic in life.
Sure.
That's when you start to see things happen. And for me, that was like, that's the space I want to live in. I don't want to live in a space of like, I got to do better. I don't believe in myself. Because when I stopped drinking, I tell you, I never could see myself not drinking. Like, I remember making those videos thinking like, I don't know.
Forever is a long time when you start using that language, man.
Yeah. And so the way I look at it now is just every day, like today, do good today, right? Make it through today. Like,
and
that's
being
all you can worry about.
a single dad of like preteen, teenage twin boys, that you got.
Yeah, we just got a puppy too. So.
Holy fuck! You do not have idle hands and devil's playground. You don't got them. You don't got them. So what are you doing? Anything in the foster community? I know you got a passion for it. So I wanted to ask about that.
When I was with Channel 5, I did the Place to Call Home.
Yes, that's how I. That's what was it for the. Yes,
that's the program. That's the name it's called.
Yeah.
And so I don't do that anymore, obviously, but excuse me, my uncle and our family just launched a foundation with the Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition.
Okay.
In honor of my grandma. It's called the Arlene Brown Older Youth Readiness Fund.
Got it.
And it is a fund that is going to go towards 18-year-olds who grow out of the system, who never get adopted.
Age out, yeah.
And so...
there's such a gap. That is so great to hear.
Yeah.
Like literally, like within the month, last month, I think.
Can we explain real quick, like what you mean? So everybody wants to adopt the little baby, right? Yeah. Everybody wants to adopt when I think the two double-edged sword. When we were filling out they said 0 to 6. A lot of times you might say you're 0 to 6, but you get a call for a 14-year-old, or you can say I'm only going to take teens, and you get a call for infant, because there's not enough homes, right? But I've met only a few people that are gifted, and they're, like I said, we talk about angels on earth, that because by the time teens come to you, they've been just chewed up and spit out of this fucking system. So that's why there's such a gap. So this is incredible to hear. I didn't know about this, and I do a lot of work with the coalition. More the last couple of years. A good friend of mine that ran their events has moved to Denver. I feel like I fell off, but anybody's done wrong time in the day.
Yeah.
So this is incredible. So you guys are starting, say the name again after your grandma?
Yeah, Arlene Brown Older Youth Readiness Fund.
Okay.
That's the name of it.
That's incredible. And what?
And it's basically money for, these kids to get on their feet, and resources, like growing up 18, 19 years old, you got family to support you, go to college, you don't have enough money, they slide you a couple bills here, right? But for people who don't have that,
They don't have it.
they have to have some kind of help, right? And so this is that help. This is the resources, the funding to get a car, learn how to get a job.
Sure.
Learn how to get on your feet, basically.
Wow,
without having family to help you do it. So one of my uncles, not the famous one, he wanted to start this fund with his own money. And so he started it up with that idea. He came to me, said, do I know anybody that he could, link up with, any organizations? And I was like, definitely.
Yeah.
So I put him in touch with that organization, the Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition in St. Louis. And then to get the word out, we had my uncle Sterling come in town, and we did a little live for their event, their Hope Day that they have every year.
Yeah.
That was just a couple weeks ago. So it literally just launched, but it's online. You can donate to it because hopefully after the initial funds run out, people will still donate to sustain it.
I found the website, so
we're gonna put it and talk about it.
I love that organization because the people there. It's not just like, oh, it's a great organization, but it's the people. There's so many.
I did a bunch of
on
trainings
Earth.
there.
So many angels that
And Refresh,
are doing great things. Yeah,
where they have the like they do the Cinderella, the prom night. Have you heard of that? The Refresh does, and they're moving to a bigger location. I just saw that. Really great organization, man.
So they're doing that, and I told them, like, if you need any help, because all of them are like, we want to still do Place to Call Home with you, and I'm like, well, maybe we could do something online, because that's where people are watching anyway. That's where the eyeballs are. I remember when I started doing my online stuff, I was like, dang, I get bigger numbers online than I did when I was just doing TV, which is kind of crazy.
Look at my rating.
In this realm
number
a long
one
time
meteorologist,
ago.
motherfuckers.
Yeah,
exactly.
I want a mic drop for you.
So yeah, I do the T-shirt stuff. That was just kind of like, I launched that just on a whim. Like, people who are influencers have merchandise. And so I was like, well, I got to have merchandise, kind of thinking. And then I just started coming up with ideas, and was like, dang, I got like
We need
60
better
different
shit.
shirts.
we don't have any shit.
For this and Underground. Maybe we could.
I love the stuff you guys have, though. I mean, it looks good.
So
simple.
We do, like, this is IRC sweatshirt. But I've been into crew necks. Ashley got me an Underground crew neck made for my birthday, but we'll talk. We'll see if there's anything you can come up with. You got to show us.
Well, then
hands.
I do like cooking too. So when my kids first came, I remember thinking like, well, what do they eat?
Right.
So like obviously baby food at first and bottles and milk. But
Ashley
when I
didn't
started,
have a fucking microwave. I go, you gotta have Ashley.
Yeah, but I was like, I don't know what to cook them, and so it's been years of like trial and error. But after 12 or so years, I think I finally got some recipes down where it's like, wow, the kids like them. Then I think people are going to like them. Because if the kids don't like them, that's the first, audience to get through. And if I can't get through them, nobody's going to.
So they say about like, you got to get to the kids first.
Yeah. So if I make something and they like it, I'm like, this is gold.
So are you thinking about bringing some food stuff here to St. Louis? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So believe it or not, there's no Portuguese cuisine in St. Louis.
Okay.
We don't have a Portuguese restaurant other than like a fogo de chao, which is Brazilian.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If I think,
which is
always
the closest you
restaurant.
could get. But that's a Brazilian influence.
What's the
so
spice level in Portuguese?
It's not that bad.
It's not? Okay.
No. But a lot of it is stews and soups, rice, things like that.
Okay.
And so I've got 3 solid things on the menu that I'm working on now. I'm not working on, but like, they're on the menu. Like, I don't need to change them, improve them. And it's Jag, which is red beans and rice.
Okay.
It's called Jaguiça in Portuguese.
Got it.
But Jag is just an acronym, short version. And then there is a tuna empanada that I've changed into a crab empanada. Because I don't know anybody that's like, I want to go out and get some tuna.
Sure, right.
Like people are going to the casino to get crab legs.
Right.
I changed it and did it with crab, which that is just phenomenal. The crab empanada, I think, is going to probably be the next big thing in St. Louis. Like, people love crab ragoon, but this crab empanada is like
crab ragoon to me is just cream cheese. You don't
exactly. You don't even get crab anymore, right? So it actually has crab in it, or at least imitation crab to start.
Sure.
And then I do a Portuguese donut, which is basically like a beignet, but without powdered sugar. We use the granulated sugar, but it's like emulsified. And then a little cinnamon. There's like a little cinnamon sauce that I'm working on too. But Portuguese donut. So like I've got 3 solid things. Like I could open a food truck today, but I don't know if I want to go food truck route.
But something like that maybe in the horizon in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Like even a ghost kitchen.
Sure.
I'm at the pop-ups this week and next week called Avalanche. So it's an online
I saw you post
holiday themed pop-up. So you get about 10 of them that pop up in St. Louis this time of year.
Yes.
And so this is one that I'm partnering with one of the guys there who's the founder of this vision, Braden STL. He's a foodie in St. Louis.
Okay.
Goes all around different establishments trying foods and giving reviews and
Have you ever been to Olive and Oak?
I have.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll have to introduce you to my cousin. Yeah. And Mark and Jesse, the chef, she's a fucking artist. But
yeah. See, I'm not a chef. I just am taking family recipes that like my grandma used to make, and I'm like, we can just make this, right? Because I actually wanted to do a weather-themed restaurant. I was like, I want to do science experiments
Kids
and crazy
would love
shit.
That shit.
Yes. Yeah. And I still do. But when I started thinking about, like, first, the cost of the building, right? And then all of the stuff you'd have to do to it to, like, soup it out to make it, like, a weather experiment space. The money was just getting astronomical.
Sure.
Like, it was just like, there is no way this is going to happen for someone who doesn't have any working capital.
Right.
So, like, I even met with a guy who sells restaurants and had to learn all of this from him because I was like, I know what I'm doing. He's like, come back to me when you got a little bit more money. We'll talk. And, but he was showing me little small spots that I could even start off on the small scale. But I was like, I need science experiments. This is not stream science experiments. Like a space like this. I'm like, this does not work. But I was like thinking too big, like vision, like what I saw. So I went to Boston for like a couple months this past summer because I was like, I can take vacation forever now. Like I don't even need to take a week. I can take the whole month. So I did. I went up to Boston for a whole month, visited my family.
Nice.
And I'd never been able to do that as an adult. And my kids got to hang out with their cousins. Like we have so many family members up there. And so when I got back, that's when I was talking to one of my friends, and she's like, you should just do the Portuguese food here. And I was like, you know what? You're actually right.
And Balk and Tree Box started as a food truck.
We started looking. Yeah, I don't know.
Have you been there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they're incredible. My friend owns 4 Hens.
Yeah.
She started as a food truck too.
Right.
They have strongly discouraged me to not do food trucks.
Sure. Samantha at Farm Truck. Now she's at all the stadiums.
Mm-hmm. And like ghost kitchens are a new thing that's popping up too, where you just rent out of space, cook the food, put it in a locker, people come and pick it up.
Oh,
and that's
cool.
You don't have to do any like decorating. You don't have to have seats and chairs and stuff. So that's kind of a new concept that's popped up. So that was what one of my friends told me to do.
We're praying for that, man. I'm getting hungry just talking about that.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
It's really easy food, but it's also like home cooked food. And like I still keep thinking like if I were to have a restaurant one day, would it be like tablecloths and fancier? Would it just be regular old like, hardwood tables, just come and sit down and eat in a big bowl of soup? Because sometimes when you have like soups and stews, those are like fancy establishments.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this isn't fancy in my mind, but it could certainly have the power to be. I think in Boston, where you have a lot more Portuguese food, those places you can get really upscale when it comes to just that type of cuisine. So that's the other thing I'm doing, and I don't know, maybe one of these days I may jump on stage and do some stand-up comedy. I feel like I got enough stories.
Yeah, I think you could.
I bet.
Thanks.
I think this next decade's going to be your best, man.
Thanks. Well, it's crazy. When I turned 40, I felt like I was dying. And that was when I was still swamped in drinking, And I remember hearing...
Stuck at a job you didn't like.
Yeah, hearing a family member tell me, like, this is when you start living. And I was like, I don't feel like I'm living. Something's got to change. So I feel like the drinking thing at the hospital was a blessing in disguise. Me losing my job was a blessing in disguise. Because honestly... I was well liked, and I had followers.
Yeah.
But my followers doubled
on
Facebook
man.
after I got let go. I mean, from 18,000 to 37,000 in just a few months.
That's
so it was a great PR stunt for me. If anything. But
I think a lot of people care and want to support you. And the 6 people that listen to this show will be 36,006.
Yeah, that's right.
But like for me, it was just it was those moments that I think like it's all about how you respond that have shaped to where I'm at now. And so I do feel like, I take that. Next decade's going to be great because I didn't feel it when I was drowned in drinking every day.
No.
And that's the thing where it's like it was it wasn't just at dinner. It wasn't just like once a week. It was for breakfast, for lunch, it was all day.
We're very similar. There was not if I was awake, I had a cocktail.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember telling people that, and they were like, "Wow, I didn't know it was that bad."
Right. I mean, that is a red flag for sure.
And the thing about it, like we were talking about the flesh earlier, you don't chase anything but that when you're doing it.
Really
and I just could not get it. It was like the thing you want it, and then you go chase all the fun things that come after, right? And it was like, and then you just wake up. It's a cycle. You just keep doing the same thing over and over. And I had to break that. I just didn't want to be.
It hijacks your mind to where you think you can't do anything without it, and you really fall for that lie, man.
Mm-hmm. I'm so much clear-headed now. I remember like
I
when
couldn't go to a family barbecue without.
Anything.
Is it going to be alcohol, or do I need to bring my own?
Yeah.
That was always the first question.
Yeah. Well, even like
so, I just brought my own, and just in case.
Even these things like my T-shirts, and I have a YouTube channel where I do weather and stuff. But all these things that I was like that I'm doing now, I don't think I would have gotten them off the ground as quick as I did. Like I literally launched. So in August, because I needed some time to do nothing.
Yeah.
August was like, all right, I think I'll start working again. Because I was like, I had been like going April. I was like, I think that's a long enough time.
You got your pool season in.
To not do anything. I did literally nothing, like at all. I just lounged and had fun with my family in Boston and like did nothing. And
kids in summer, that's probably.
Yeah, I was like, kids are back in school. I'll figure out what I'm going to do with my life. And so I launched my YouTube. And then in October, I launched my shirts. And so here we are in December, and I just had my first cooking event last week. And so I'm like, wow.
Go well?
How do people find you?
It was okay.
Yeah.
So
it's small. We're starting off small.
Good. Well, that's good.
Adequate for the market, as I used to say on TV.
I like that. That. How do people find the YouTube channel? Just Anthony Slaughter?
Yeah, it's Weather with Anthony. That's the title of it.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to include all this on show notes and in our social media.
And then I'm on Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and all those things.
And that's we can find the T-shirts, or is there a website?
It is. The website's kind of complicated because I use Shopify right now, so it has their and name in the link. But if you go to any of my socials, you'll see it in the bio.
Okay.
It's like my website.
So you make I wonder. Like, we got to figure out. If we do some partner or something, you could do our merch or something.
Yeah.
Because we don't really have a guy.
Yeah.
People ask about hats and shit all the time, and shirts, and I need to start getting underground stuff.
Hats actually are the lowest cost to make with the
I
highest
got a hat for you. We do have some hats, so
thank you.
Yeah, and you don't have to wear it. But.
No, you don't. But just hold it up for a picture. I'm just kidding.
I got these made in 2020 as I was like rocking a flat bill.
Yeah.
And I've gotten so many compliments without the hat lately, and it's a backhanded slap. But I like my hat.
I like it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And Jeff's got to
losing my hair,
order.
baby. I gotta. Yeah.
So we're gonna pump you out. I can't thank you enough for driving out to all Swansea. So and giving it, and it was fun to walk you through the Illinois Recovery Center here where we're at. A lot of people don't know these places exist, and
I didn't.
Right. So we're 48 beds, and we're full. I mean, there's just not enough beds in the area at all, and in the country with the epidemic of the shit going on. So. And people think hospital. They think if you're going to get treatment, you're going to go to Passage in Malibu and they don't have nobody has $100K, or it's actually more than that. Or you got to go to a hospital like a psych ward, and as you can see, we're none of that. We have,
like a junior college behind that too.
Right. It's like a junior college campus out here, so it's always fun to walk someone through it a little bit, and so they know, and people come to you and ask, we're out here, so we appreciate it. Thanks again, man. This has been great.
Yeah,
I could go. I could talk for hours, and I know
I could too.
People got to go.
I know people are always like, "You talk so much."
Well,
it's your job for the longest time. So.
I'd love for you to stay in touch. I want to get, there's so much that's flying in my brain on how to stay more connected. But check us out at Underground. I know Miofsky'd love to meet you, and we have a pretty cool team there. If you're ever looking for a place, you're always welcome. Obviously,
Thank you.
Thanks again for coming out.
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks
it.
for having me.
My mom's gonna freak out. We're gonna take a picture. Is that all right?
Yeah,
I send it to her.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, Anthony Slaughter, you can find him on Facebook, Twitter,
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the normal places.
and we'll put everything in show notes. And check out Evan McKelvey if you need some insurance. He's the guy who'll save you money. Now's the time. He's our big sponsor right now.
Yeah.
And Light Source.
I like how you did that. It was nice and smooth.
Yeah, like a live read.
Yeah.
We don't have to go to commercial. All right, guys. Thanks again. And as always, let us pray.
Pondoff's Anonymous is hosted by Chris Pondoff with Zoe Mendenhall and Jeff Allen. Produced, engineered, mixed, and filmed by Jeff Allen. Recorded at Illinois Recovery Center in the Pondoff's Anonymous studios. Music by McCall. The track is Anti-Hero. This podcast shares stories. It's not a substitute for professional help. If you need support, visit pondoffsanonymous.com and contact us.